Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Rough Tuesday for both the Reds and Guardians. Both squads have 5 games left before the All-Star break. It can't come soon enough for Cleveland. Guardians dropped their 3rd straight last night, falling to the Twins 3-1 in Minnesota. Cleveland's 2 games above 500, only 1 game back of the White Sox for the top spot in the AL Central. As for the Reds, Cincinnati lost at home last night to Philadelphia 4-1. Redlegs have dropped 7 of their last 10. Cincinnati's going to host Philadelphia tonight at 7. Hear that one on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. Philly's going to host the All-Star festivities this year. Home Run Derby's next Monday. All-Star games next Tuesday. Final 2 tickets to the World Cup quarterfinals were punched yesterday. Argentina bounced back from an 0-2 hole to beat Egypt 3-2. Switzerland knocked out Ecuador in PKs. Quarterfinal round starts Thursday with France and Morocco at Gillette Stadium. This update is sponsored by United Dairy Farmers. Peach ice cream is back at UDF. Right now, get 2 large cartons of UDF peach ice cream for just $10.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy.
Good buddy, Austin Ward.
My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show.
The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Tom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. I believe the technical term is loaded up. A little higher, lower coming your way at 10 o'clock. 10:30, Jake Trotter stops by, as is customary on a First Friday. We've got your Hey Guys coming up at 11 o'clock. Get your questions into the fellas at 971 BFS. We can also do so live in the YouTube chat. And, of course, at 11:30, our good buddy Chris Fedor are going to drop by. What is it going to be like to cover LeBron James in his final season in Cleveland? Because it does feel like that's the way this thing is going to finally shake out. Chris is going to get the opportunity to do it. He's done it before. We'll talk to him about that coming up at 11:30. It is good to be back. I was off last couple of days, getting a chance to kind of have some thoughts on what has happened here over the last month in the World Cup. I'll do the U.S. side of it in just a second, but I do think that when people say, why has this worked so well? I think it is pretty simple why it has worked so well. Number one, it's here. It's in our country. These games are in our time zone, with the exception of the games yesterday, which inexplicably were at noon and 3. You have one on late in the afternoon, and you have one on at night. That's the way it's been in the knockout stage throughout. Oftentimes, it's a team that you know, it's a player that you know. Even if you're someone who is a casual fan, you can buy into it. Even if you've never seen a sport in your life, if you watched England and Mexico for 10 minutes at Azteca in the game on Sunday night, or Monday night, whenever that was, you saw as high a level of competition as you're ever going to see in your life. You're going to see an atmosphere that, quite honestly, it's hard to duplicate what that thing was like down in Mexico City. So it's here. We're able to see it. I think that's the jumping off point. Number 2, the U.S. was fun. The U.S. team was really fun and pretty fearless and got a really good draw and handled their business and scored goals. I mean, they didn't kind of park the bus and try to counter when it was there. No, they were pretty fearless in attack. They went downhill. They tried to score goals. They scored a bunch of goals. And early on, if you go all the way back to a month ago and we said, well, how's this thing going to work? One of the first things we said is the U.S. has got to look great. And in the group stage, they did. They looked spectacular. They were fun. And it was something that we all kind of got behind, the patriotism of it, the sport of all of it. The other thing that really worked here is the stars have shined. I mean, I don't care if you are the most casual soccer fan in the world, you know who Lionel Messi is. You probably know who Kylian Mbappe is. You probably know who Erling Haaland is. You may have heard of Harry Kane. You may have heard of Vinny Jr., maybe Jude Bellingham, maybe Dembele. Cristiano Ronaldo, absolutely you know. All of those guys are in the top 10 of goal scorers in this World Cup. Well, what is America? In sports, we're stars, man. Play the hits. We're used to watching the best play the best in every sport that people here participate in. That is why MLS was struggled for so long. It clearly has found its footing now 30 some years later. But for the longest time, I think that was the problem with it, was the American sports viewer, the American sports fan wants to watch the best. We want to watch the very best compete. And so if you look at television ratings for the Olympics, for the World Cup, usually they're very, very good in this country. Very, very strong. And this World Cup has been elite when it comes to the people who are watching it from a viewership standpoint. Fox is winning for sure on that. But the reason that when it goes away, it falls off as well is because we're not. We're not seeing the best of it. We want to see the best of it on a regular basis. And I think that's a big part of why it's been a success as well. And no matter what happens from here on out, and, you know, we're everybody's into the Elite Eight now, into the quarterfinal. Whatever happens going forward, it is inarguable that this thing has been a massive success here in terms of attendance, in terms of eyeballs on it. What will it mean for soccer in this country? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I feel like we've done this song and dance for 30 years with very little in the way of changing. And we'll get to the U.S. side in just a second. But in terms of why this thing is hit, I think it's pretty straightforward. It was here. It was on in a time of the day and in the time of the year where we were looking for something to watch. It didn't have to compete with football like it did with the Qatar World Cup 4 years ago. It's kind of got the summer to itself. It's in these windows and the best of shine brightest. And, oh, yeah, the United States was fun to watch. So now you're kind of hooked. I know Bake, have you watched any of it yet or still no?
I believe you already know the answer to that, Bo.
You still haven't. You
still haven't watched any.
It's amazing.
It's wonderful, an exceptional commitment.
It really is, Reese. I mean, it's a stunning level.
Because it's hard to do anything. It's hard to get on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of your social medias. It's hard to walk around this building. It's hard to, I would argue, walk around any office building without it being on or without being part of your discussion. At least, hey, did you watch that thing last night? Yeah. Like even Sunday's match between Mexico and England. Yeah. That felt very much like a water cooler thing where you were like, hey, did you see that? I mean, if you didn't, know what was going on, you still saw the sights and the sounds. You still saw on Saturday night where Mexican fans were throwing fireworks at England's hotel. And then everybody talked about it Monday. Like Austin Ward, when we had him on, was going to 16 different places and then finishing his night at Land Grant for USA Belgium. So the fact that Baker was able to avoid all of that, like even Joshua Perry, when we had him on, he said that it was on television and in a room that he was in, and he turned his back to the television.
No, obviously I didn't do anything like that. I've told you guys that, but I don't understand why the water cooler thing like surprises you, because there's like so many water cooler shows that I've never seen or been a part of. Or
I mean, House of the Dragon, true. Maybe.
That's been pretty good, by the way.
It actually
it has been pretty good.
Yeah,
they're doing a good job. It's jumped up a notch. I get it that I understand that there's a section of folks who haven't. We'll get to the USA in a second. The Mexico-England game, Sunday night, Reese? My day's kind of random.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sunday.
That was the only thing that I've ever been to that was close to that in terms of venom directed at an opponent was when LeBron came back to Cleveland the first time as a Miami Heat. And I described that. I'll never forget Jerry Revish asked me, he goes, well, Bo, what's the environment like there? And I said, I was doing a live shot on Channel 10. I said, Rev, it was as if they had sent the Gladiator into the Lions and they were all rooting for the Lions. That was the vitriol that there was.
Harry Kane got pelted.
That was nuts. That was as riveting. I had no rooting interest. I really didn't. I didn't care who won. I guess going into it, England, just because Mexico's our rival or whatever in the country or whatever, so I guess I didn't want them to have success. And I've talked to too many U.S. men's national players who've gone down to Azteca and had urine thrown on them and everything else. But to watch that thing live and have no rooting interest was as riveting a sporting event as that I can ever say that I've watched in terms of it. No rooting interest in either team. I've never seen compete like that, and fearlessness out of the England team. And I was fearful for them. I was fearful of their supporters. Like, that place is nuts. That was nuts. And yesterday in the afternoon, what Messi did with Argentina. with Egypt was absolutely nuts. And of course, there's controversy in that. And VAR probably went too far. But like with anything, I guess if we're arguing about instant replay, the sport has arrived, or at least the World Cup has arrived in America if we're complaining about VAR. And there's been a lot to complain about. But by any measure, even if Bake is still on the outside looking in, and God bless you for being so, JP as well, it's impossible to argue that this thing has been a massive success. And I think it's pretty straightforward why. Does this mean anything for 4 years from now? No, not much. 4 years later? No, not much. But for now, for the reasons that we kind of stated here, this thing's crushed. And it was interesting at the end of the Team USA loss on Tuesday when they were discussing, so many of the people in the game broadcast said it as the game was starting to get out of control, and then the studio people said it. If you've tuned in for this far, there's a lot more World Cup to go. Like, they're selling you to keep watching. Will America keep watching when the Americans aren't in it? That will be the true test of this thing. I think you're still going to be doing some pretty good numbers here over the last couple of weeks because of everybody who's involved. Now, in terms of the Team USA issue of this, there's been a great deal of conversation about youth sports and pay-for-play and all of it. I think there's actually a simpler answer for all of that. And we get into that coming up next. We're off and running on a First Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate, or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
Whether you're repping the orange and brown or shouting "Hoo Day," the ultimate football pilgrimage is closer than you think. Ditch the living room, get the family on the road, and make the short drive to greatness and visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. From the backyard to the gridiron, it's the one place where every fan comes together to create new family memories. Make it a weekend to remember and see why Ohio truly is the heart of football. Visit profootballhof.com and plan your visit today.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
I've been able to resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, "I can't thank you enough." He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Summer doesn't start until you've had UDF peach ice cream, made with hand-picked peaches at our dairy right here in Ohio. So have a peach sundae, a peach shake, a peachy cobbler ice cream quake, and start your summer now, only at United Dairy Farmers. Peach season is here at UDF, but it won't last long. Right now, buy 2 large cartons of UDF peach ice cream for just $10. You're gonna want to stock up. Peach ice cream is back at United Dairy Farmers for a limited time.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
The big one returns to Ohio. It's the Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals presented by Grundy Insurance. See over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and classic trucks on display. And don't miss Good Guys Autocross racing action, a tire-smoking burnout competition, a pro street takeover, an earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest. Meet the top builders and so much more. Happening all this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com. All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll keep that mix of sun and clouds going for the rest of the day. It's a warm one out there with highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, lower 70s. Then for your Thursday, partly sunny skies once again. There may be a few showers and storms out there later on. Otherwise warm, upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
So, Brother Bone asked me about this when I was on with him and nephew Tyvis, and they were talking about the pay-for-play model that needs to go away and trying to win championships at the 8U level and how that is prohibiting true growth in the sport. All of these things we've known for a very, very long time. And I pointed this out. Jurgen Klinsmann, before he became the coach of the U.S. team years ago, he's on the broadcast, I want to say for ESPN, and they asked him about U.S. soccer, and he went on like about a 2-minute kind of diatribe about what was wrong in the development of it and why it wasn't there, and the things that you could do to fix it. And then they hired him to be the head coach of the U.S. national team, and he didn't get any further than anybody else did. And the reality of it is we've known the problem for a long time, and there is no real easy solution to any of it other than kind of one, which is just this: for our best athletes, soccer is not cool. It's just not. That's the reality of it. The best athletes in this country do not dream of playing soccer. They just don't. They dream of playing basketball. They dream of playing football. Some of them dream of playing baseball. You may dream of, some of them certainly dream of playing soccer, lacrosse, and all the rest of that stuff. But it's all underneath football and basketball and baseball. Those are the ones that our kids grow up here dream of playing, are those sports. The best athletes dream of playing those. And how do we know this? Because we've got 100 years of evidence to back it up, that this is what happens. And so until you get to a point where your greatest athletes, I don't think anybody out there listening right now would argue that Jeremiah Smith is the best athlete in Columbus, Ohio at the moment. I don't think anybody would argue that. Do you think Jeremiah Smith ever thought, I'm going to go be a striker for Real Madrid? I'm going to go play center back for Man United?
Only when he turns on his Xbox.
That's it, man. And the game's helped. Reese, you bring up a great point. The game has helped. The FIFA game has helped. And it's allowed for it to be more touchable. And that goes back to what I said in the previous segment about how the stars have shined on this World Cup so brightly, because my kids have played that thing nonstop for a month, the FIFA game, because of this. Like they've got the fever. They're building the teams, all of it. But they're playing with Chelsea and Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. That's who they're playing with. They know the European stars of all of it. And then I think for this U.S. team specifically, it was such a beautifully fearless World Cup, and it ends just as spectacularly bad. And the reality is that we are in the exact same spot as we were in '94 when we hosted it the last time, where we're bounced in the round of 16. We won a knockout stage game that didn't previously exist. That's what happened. We didn't get any further, and we were completely outclassed by Belgium, who's fine. They're a top 10 team, and they've got guys who play in some of the biggest leagues in Europe. But this isn't even the best version of Belgium. That was 4 years ago when all of those guys were in their prime. Lukaku came on late in the game. Like he was in his prime 4 years ago. Kevin De Bruyne at one point was the best player in the world. He didn't even play in this game against us. Longtime star for Man City. So we're really no different now than we were 32 years ago in terms of the result. Mauricio Pochettino spoke post-game about what now for Team USA. Let's have a listen.
Oh, I think everyone saw from the beginning we didn't connect with the game. I think we need to learn. I think it's a process to learn. We need to assess that game, and we need to see why we didn't approach the game in the same way that the rest of the World Cup. Different reason. Maybe the explanation is so easy. Wasn't our day in a collective and individual. Of course, the principal, responsible is myself. And yes, we need to see and to check what we did, because it wasn't the performance of the way that normally we play.
No, it wasn't. And a big part of that was the other part that was really simple, that Belgium's a lot better than anybody else that you've played. That's the other part of it. They're a lot better than anybody else you've played. He had, there was a line that Rob Stone, who does all the play-by-play for this and loves soccer and has been one of the faces of it, of Fox for a long time on the coverage of the World Cup. He said this game doesn't define what the U.S. accomplished. With all due respect, Rob, yes, it does. Yes, it does reflect what they accomplished. Yes, it does leave a bitter taste in your mouth if you thought that this team was different, because that's how these things are defined. You are defined by how you are when you play at this level, and they weren't up to it. Not by a damn stretch. They were completely outclassed by Belgium. And so, what is the future of it? I'd be shocked. Take people behind the curtains. I actually thought I was doing the show yesterday. I didn't look at the calendar and I actually produced the show. I sent you guys the show sheet that you guys were like, dude, you're off. Do you want us to call Jay-Z? No, he's on his way in. That's fine. It was my bad. I didn't look at the schedule. Bad job out of me. But one of the things that I wanted to do in the real truth was, will the U.S. win a World Cup in our lifetime? And I can say pretty emphatically no. No. They won't. I don't see it coming. I'm approaching 50. I've seen a bunch of World Cups, and it's about the same now as it always was. There's not a whole lot different. There are some countries who have really boomed in the sport. France has boomed in my lifetime. They were always a very good country. They become an elite country. Spain was always a very good country. They've been an elite country. There's teams that have faded. Italy was a World Cup stalwart and multiple-time winner. They haven't even made the World Cup the last couple of times. Germany's not what it used to be 12 years ago. So there are teams that have lifted and have dropped, but do I see the U.S. entering that echelon and becoming a world power in soccer? I heard Thierry Henry say this is a sleeping giant. I've been hearing that for 30 years, that it's a sleeping giant. Nothing's really changed.
And you would hope going into the World Cup that there would be momentum built off the run. And certainly making it to the round of 16. You were thinking before things started, if you could play past the 4th of July weekend, then you could build off of this World Cup. I think this is the first for Mauricio Pochettino, and then give momentum into 2030. But the way they played, coupled with the interference by the president in getting Flo Balogun onto the field, and him not producing, your best players not producing, doesn't really give you momentum going in to the next World Cup. Like, I don't know what their next slate of international matches are.
So I think they'll have Gold Cup. Usually they have CONCACAF, and then there's a competition now between North and South America. I think they'll be involved in that. But, I mean, it's that stuff will be
show
back
up
burner.
there, but it won't be like this.
No.
We talked a lot yesterday about why this is with USA Soccer, and I think the best athletes not playing are number one. Because, you couldn't tell me if Chris Henry Jr.'s played soccer his whole life, he's not the goaltender for Team USA.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I think that's part of it, and it's not even just our best athletes. It's our second and our third and our fourth best athletes, for the most part, aren't playing these sports. The other thing, Brother Bone brought this up yesterday, and it was about the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You get the absolute best coaching in other countries because this is the number one sport. Here you get some dad whose kid's just out there to play. Hey, we need a coach. They're not getting the best coaching all the way up either. And then
sometimes I think that's fair, yeah.
Somebody brought up hockey, and it made me think about this a little more. And One, the National Hockey League has been around in the United States a lot longer than any professional soccer league. The MLS just came around, in the early to mid-'90s?
Yeah, right after the 94 World Cup, 96.
You've seen, since the Blue Jackets have been here, some guys from Columbus, Ohio, go through the youth program and become National Hockey League players. You've seen a few of that, like Will Trapp was here with the crew for a while and went on. You've seen that as well with that. But the National Hockey League is the number one destination for the best hockey players in the world.
Yeah.
Guys from Russia, from Finland, from the Czech Republic, they all come over here to play. Their number one goal is the National Hockey League.
Yes.
The number one goal in the best league in soccer isn't here.
No.
If you want to make the most money in soccer, you have to go overseas. And I don't know how enticing that is for most Americans as a way to play either.
Yeah, I mean these are the factors that I just don't see changing. Here's another thing. And some of this stuff is just simple, it's just out there for us. For the rest of we are the only country in the world that ties athletics to academics. We're the only one. If little Timmy at age 8 is identified as an elite athlete prospect in the United States of America, he plays youth soccer year-round. He still goes to school, though. And the idea for most of the parents in those situations are, let's see if we can get little Timmy a scholarship to play college. If 8-year-old little Timmy is in Argentina or Brazil or Spain or France, he's put in an academy. And guess what happens to the academics? Don't worry about it. We're good. You're gonna have your basics, but you're going academy style. Every single big club in Europe, South America, they have academies, and they're not tied to academics. There's some academic components, but the idea, the end-all, be-all is not to get a scholarship to play college soccer. The end-all, be-all is to play at Real Madrid. That's the difference. So best athletes, tied academics to athletics, it all fills into it. But I do think there's incredibly elite coaching. There's incredible coaching in Central Ohio at the youth level that we see. And not everybody's out for a buck. A lot of people want to teach it the right way. It's just our dedication to the sport is not in the same vicinity of what it is around the globe, where it is the sport of record in most countries around the globe. And in our country, it's just not. It's just down on the list. And I don't see that changing. To answer the real truth question, I don't see that changing in my lifetime. I think it remains, it will stay in this kind of world. And maybe one year we'll make a run to a quarterfinal and win one more like we did in 2002 when you get a favorable draw. But in the end, you're going to come up against a big European power or a South American power that you just don't have the skill for. And you saw that. And that's, guys, I could have been doing this show the Monday after 1994 when they lost to Brazil. Would have been the exact same type of show as this one is in terms of that. So not much has changed in all of these years. In terms of what's next, it's a good question. We'll get to it in What's Up. Coming up in 2 minutes, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, or struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mapo's Plumbing.
Sure. We do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros, the pros who knows.
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. You tell me. I think it's fair to say that over the last couple of weeks, the World Cup has dominated sports conversation in this country. Not just Team USA games, but other games as well. I saw the Canada lost to Morocco. Is that who they lost to? And that one did like 16 million. So massive numbers for this stuff. And I do think that over the next couple of weeks that the audience is kind of accustomed to it. And I think you will see people continue to watch the World Cup. Beyond that, the next 2 weeks are up for sale. LeBron James is going to have a little bit of time in the next 2 weeks, which it's just stupefying to me that it feels, and I know we'll talk about this with Chris Fedor coming up at 11:30. I mean, he's going to be a Cavalier, right? I mean, that's kind of what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it's been trending that way. I know that there was talk, and then there wasn't talk about the kind of money that LeBron would take for this year. We had talked yesterday, the Donovan Mitchell extension.
Yeah.
Likely didn't mean anything towards the LeBron James sweepstakes, but it feels like Donovan Mitchell getting the max extension can't be the only thing the Cavaliers have to do in the offseason. And really the only logical thing is to bring LeBron home. Now, he's posting videos every day. Like, he was on a stability ball yesterday showing how good his core is at 41. And, like, that's great, man. We know he loves when people talk about him. But, yeah, it'll hit like it did in 2015, right?
It's crazy. It's nuts. He's been in Northeast Ohio for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Plays Firestone, Portage Country Club. Like, he's playing all these country clubs up there and golfing like crazy. Wasn't there a video of him at Golf Galaxy?
Probably.
Getting clubs? Can you imagine? Like, he can't just, all this stuff's intentional.
Yes.
You can't tell me he hasn't been fitted. He's 6'8". Like, all he's got to do, he doesn't have to go to Golf Galaxy for clubs, for God's sakes. All he's got to do is say, whoever manufacturer he plays, send me a set to every pro shop that I'm going to play. Like, that's how you do this. You're not going into Golf Galaxy and buying something off the rack when you're 6'8". I'm sure they'd fit as well as anybody, but it just doesn't make sense. So everything he's doing is with intent and purpose. And I did hear Windhurst this morning talk about how Donovan Mitchell re-signing somehow allows them to trade Evan Mobley. So I don't know what that would have to do with anything, like trading Mobley. If you're Dan Gilbert, can you acquiesce to a 41-year-old like this?
To LeBron.
Just to that one,
But I don't know if I don't see why it would help LeBron or why LeBron would care about trading Evan Mobley unless the Kyrie Irving story's true.
Or Anthony Davis.
So if that's what you have to do, I would be out on that.
Yeah,
I'm not sacrificing. And I don't know if Evan Mobley's the future. Like, I would have definitely made the trade last year if it's true of Evan Mobley to get Giannis there for sure. But Giannis is in a different boat. Giannis is 31, not 41 or whatever, And LeBron is different too. LeBron plays. Like, he may take some load management days. Anthony Davis could never get on the court. So if Anthony Davis is that reason, I'm out. And that's interesting because especially if LeBron is going to take that $15 million exception deal, why would you need to get rid of Evan Mobley?
Unless it's to go get somebody he wants.
which I'm not
You know what I
holding
mean?
my
Like
franchise hostage at this point for that.
In a way, I'll tell you what, it's the one place he could go that will be magic. If he goes there, and all momentum certainly seems like he is, it will be magic. They will do starting lineups. They will introduce him last. And Ahmad will say from St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio, LeBron James, and the place will go nuts. And it will be a retirement tour for the ages.
And you will sell out every building.
He will sell out. He will sell, and they will sell more 23 LeBron James. It'll be the number one selling jersey in the NBA because people up there will buy it in droves. And Cavs fans are, I mean, there's so many Cleveland expats everywhere. It'll be one of the stories, and it'll be one of the, it kind of is a fitting chapter if indeed it does. And at this point, it's like, if it doesn't, I think he's going to be public enemy number one up there. He's teased him so much for the last 2 weeks. It's hard to believe he could play anywhere else. And the other thing about it is, I don't know where else he could play where they could be, where he could talk himself into them being contenders. Like, him going to the Warriors doesn't make them a contender in the West, but albeit it's an older group and they're going to have some defensive liabilities, but Harden, Mitchell, LeBron, Mobley, Allen, you can see how that would be a contender in the East.
I do think the Knicks showed that it's pretty wide open.
Yeah.
Right? With how they were able to beat the San Antonio Spurs, and, the Spurs and the OKC Thunder. Everybody thought, well, they're younger, they're longer, they're better than any other teams in the East, right? At the point going into the playoffs, because the Celtics didn't, what we're going to get with Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
But now it kind of shows, and I think there's been a different NBA champion for the last 8 straight seasons. So this is a wide open opportunity for the Cavaliers to do something like this. I had heard a lot of talk about LeBron and Anthony Edwards in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But they also have LaMelo Ball, and that ain't working.
I don't see LeBron. I mean, he's going to go to some town he has no connection to at the end of his career. I mean, there's all this talk about him doing a documentary. The only ways you could do a documentary that anyone would care about is if he returned to Cleveland, or I do think your Wild Hogs scenario. I think there's a movie there if you want it to document.
Maybe
that.
Miami.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe the red yarn tracks better for LeBron to Cleveland than any of the others.
Now, with that news, like the documentary and all that, the New York thing makes all the sense in the world until they won the championship and ruined his story.
I mean, Rich Paul said as much over the weekend.
What do you make of him talking about all this?
Oh, he's doing his job. He's an agent.
But he's on this podcast that I think he has it with The Ringer. Is it him and Kellerman?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going on there.
He's doing it as LeBron's agent, and he's doing a hell of a job. Because your client is still being talked about to this day, despite you have other large name clients. Like Rich Paul and Clutch Sports represent a lot of big names in the NBA, but here we are. 41-year-old LeBron is still top of mind.
He is, and it's we did this last week. He's one of a handful of topics that he has become, like, for a bygone era of sports talk guys, sports talk radio hosts, you could just say Pete Rose. And back in the day when you would, like, 9 lines deep.
Open the phones.
Yeah, just go Pete Rose, 9 lines deep. Should he be reinstated? LeBron is that now. He's that. If he's been that for 20 years. You could just say his name, and the people would show up in droves to watch him, to talk about him, all of it. It's crazy that he still has this type of reach in his early 40s. If you've seen any of the coverage of this, whether it's on ESPN or on social, it's still being covered as if it's 2015. It's 2026, for God's sakes. Like, this will be a farewell tour. But I do think that the two that would make the best story, you're right on the Miami one. I would rank them Cleveland 1, Golden State 2, Miami 3, in terms of the story that it would be. But it seems like he left Miami that Pat Riley was not exactly pleased with any of that. So,
and also, I wouldn't, if I'm LeBron, I don't think Pat Riley or Eric Spoelstra have really changed.
No.
So you're going back to the same thing where that didn't work last time. This time it would work worse. But it would be entertaining, especially with Giannis.
Yeah, I just think, and the other thing that's kind of cool about all of this is to think of the vitriol that LeBron and Dan Gilbert have had for each other over the years. And there's stuff. There's a lot of stuff people don't even know about all of that's behind the scenes. But if they could just kind of come together for, hey, this is the best for the franchise, this is the best for me, this is the right way to end this thing, I do think the homecoming for a third time would be pretty sweet for one more year. There's a lot of other things going on in the sports world grabbing for our attention. We have media days in college football. The Big 12 is going on now. Open Championship coming up next week. Oh, yes, they're playing baseball as well. We'll catch up on all of this. And I need Bake to explain to me exactly what in the blue hell the Anaheim Ducks were thinking, letting it get to this point, because I haven't talked about this yet. This is one of the most stupefying things in sport, what the Flyers did over the weekend. We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Whether you're repping the orange and brown or shouting "Hoo Day," the ultimate football pilgrimage is closer than you think. Ditch the living room, get the family on the road, and make the short drive to greatness and visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. From the backyard to the gridiron, it's the one place where every fan comes together to create new family memories. Make it a weekend to remember and see why Ohio truly is the heart of football. Visit ProFootballHof.com and plan your visit today.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life. Get a free second opinion, replace or repair. Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Start your morning knowing anything is possible. Because if these guys are hosting a radio show, imagine the possibilities. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Your home for football, food, and fun. The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
They've all been paid by the Cleveland Browns. This is Bishop and Friends.
It's your Uncle Bo here. Homes in Columbus under attack by pests like termites, ants, or mice. Don't wait for an invasion. Protect your property, your family with Rose Pest Solutions Home Service Program. The Rose Home Service Program provides year-round protection for one flat annual fee with regularly scheduled visits. This is just something you don't have to think about, guys. You have a pest, they've got the solution. Rose is local, family-owned, by your neighbors in Ohio for 165 years. Get peace of mind today. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. Is what the Flyers did, have you talked about this in the days that I was off?
Yeah,
the William Karlsson thing?
Quite a bit.
We're kind of on pins and needles here. The fallout from that could have great effect on the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. So I've been off for a couple of days, obviously. I saw this. This is a diabolical play by the Flyers to offer him $18 million a year. Remember, this is the guy who was supposed to be, he was supposed to be the third. It was Bedard, Fantilli, and him, and then the Ducks took him too, and we go, well, good Lord, we landed Fantilli, and away we go, and Adam's been great. Karlsson's been even better, but $18 million a year for him. Now, the way that this happens, and you can correct me where I'm wrong on this, but as I understand it, basically the Ducks and their general manager, Pat Verbeek, they want to nickel-dime everybody for reasons that make no real sense to me. It seems like they're headed in the right direction on everything. They got a great young team. They got to pay a bunch of guys. And now they're in a position to where if they match this offer sheet, they're not going to be able to keep their team together. If they don't match it, they lose a franchise center. Now they're going to get 4 first-round picks, but as we can certainly attest, that means jack and squat unless you're picking at the top of the draft or are really good at identifying talent and developing it. So they are in what I would best describe as a massive pickle with this thing. What is going to be the solution here? And this blame all just has to fall on the Ducks, doesn't it? It has to fall on them not getting ahead of it.
So I don't believe so, Bo. Let's
really? Okay, go ahead.
There's a couple things that factor into this here, and you mentioned 2 of them, and that's Adam Fantilli and Connor Bedard. And all of these guys' agents, it sounded like we're going to play a waiting game on this to see which one set the market.
Okay.
Because none of them wanted their guy to set the market and not get paid what they thought he could. So there was talk about that with Fantilli. Like, is he going to wait to sign a deal with the Jackets until Karlsson and Bedard signed and see what they got, and then his deal can be based off of that?
Okay.
So there's that part of this. There's also the part of this where you mentioned the Anaheim Ducks have a lot of moving pieces here. Pavel Mintyukov, their defenseman, he had an offer sheet given to him as well, and it led to them getting him signed to a deal here recently. And then there's the Cutter Gauthier part of this, who scored 40 goals for the Anaheim Ducks this past year. And he's going to be due for a raise after next season. He's going to be a restricted free agent. If you remember correctly, he played hardball with the Flyers and said, I'm not going to play for you. And that led to a trade between the Ducks and the Flyers where Gauthier went to Anaheim, and Anaheim sent a young defenseman in Jamie Drysdale back to Philadelphia. And some people are saying Philadelphia did this to get back at Cutter Gauthier's camp because they know if the Ducks accept this offer and they match it and they sign Karlsson, they can't sign Gauthier next year.
That's right. That's the part of it. So it's a spite store.
A little bit of it in this case, yes. The bigger question in all of this, as you mentioned, as you said, what are the Anaheim Ducks doing? Why have the Blue Jackets not gotten Adam Fantilli signed?
It's a great question.
Now?
It's a great question. And maybe because they don't know is it because they don't know what the market is? Like, just
damn the market.
Just that simple?
But here's the thing. Maybe you were trying for $10 million. Guess what? It just went to 13, unfortunately. And maybe more if Fantilli's agent wants to play hardball here. So,
how did they come up with this number for Carlson?
It made him probably just because it made him the highest paid player in the league, and they knew he'd
But by a long ways, right? Like there's nobody even close.
Who's the player for the Wild set to make $17 million this season? Because Draisaitl's at 14.
Kaprizov
So
signed last
Kaprizov's
year.
new deal comes in at 17.
Okay, so this just shoots to the top of that.
This
like
idiot's over my shoulder right now, trying to put a picture of Kent Johnson on the YouTube chat. Like,
Why is
Kent
he doing
Johnson's
that?
even in this.
You just did 3 hours of radio in the YouTube chat. What are you doing now?
He's doing his other market responsibility.
He thinks Kent Johnson is the best player on the Blue Jackets for some reason.
He's alone, I think, in that. Him and maybe Kent's family.
He's gonna.
I don't even think his family
talk about the
believes
Blue
that.
Jackets.
Kent Johnson's a great example, though, and I certainly am not in a position of wanting to give up on him or anything like that. He's a really young player, but that's an exact example of why the Carlson thing, if you're the Ducks, how you really screwed this thing up. Because when was Kent taken? 7th overall?
He was the 5th pick.
5th pick in the draft. Okay? So good luck. It's really hard to land hockey players who are transcendent players. You got one, and now you're in a position where I'm guessing they'll match. They have to match. They can't. He's the face of the franchise. They can't lose him. So you're going to have to lose somebody else down the road, and they're going to be in cap prison, and they're just going to have to pray that people want to play in Anaheim. It's a desirable place to play, but they're going to have to get everybody on discount. Now that's a part of the country that people will go to on discount, but that's what you're going to be asking.
If you're the Anaheim Ducks, though, and you are making him the highest paid player in the league,
yeah,
you have to be 120% damn certain that he's going to be a top 5, top 10 player. You have to be. There has to be no doubt in your mind, because then that's going to screw you up on a guy that's already scored 40 goals in this league.
I know it. But if you're the Flyers, they're making the same bet. One of them's going to be in that spot, one way or the other. I'll tell you this. I'd rather be the team with the player than the 4 picks.
Yeah. And the precedent.
I'm Les Snead when it comes to NHL draft picks. Take them. Give me dudes. I don't need picks. No one can pick anything anyway. Nobody knows anything about any of this. I do have one mea culpa too from the weekend. I did not think there was any chance that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce get married in Madison Square Garden. That Adam Sandler would officiate it, that 1,300 people would be there. That just didn't track to me at all. And I guess it happened. That's what happened. They did it, and God bless. And a kid from Cleveland Heights married the most famous woman on the planet. I mean, that happened, and they did it at a basketball arena. I just thought for sure that they would do something smaller than that.
And Adam Sandler was the officiant.
I know, like, what?
I don't know at this point if either of them can do something small. It's all got to be grand. This is that. I mean, you're shutting down New York City. I don't know how much you had to pay to get the permits, to shut off streets, to get the police department, first responders ready to go for that. I mean, you had a building in New York about to collapse yesterday.
I saw that, yeah.
Wild times in Manhattan.
Well, hell, you had a minivan chase through a golf course in Northeast Ohio yesterday. Did you guys see that?
That's why you can't do it in Northeast Ohio. Minivan's running amok.
Guy driving a minivan leading a high-speed chase down a golf course in Stowe, Ohio, suburb of Akron.
Was this the same minivan that tried to go on the one-way freeway exit lane?
Yeah. It's just all this one chase. There's video of it, of this guy flying. Dustin Fox had it up on his Instagram, of this guy zipping through, I want to say it was like Fox Meadows, some golf course up in Northeast Ohio, driving down a fairway. Highway patrol after him. Guys are out there playing their rounds. Guys flying down. They eventually got him. My goodness. Second hour of the program coming up next. Oh, we're going to have a little fun. A Hollywood icon turns 80. The catalog is a good one. We'll rank it higher or lower. Coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye. Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, you're the kind of guy who likes to save money while you do good for the planet, right?
Well, that's why I invented the biodegradable doggy poop bag, Aaron. I'm ecological and economical.
Well, usually the most economical thing you can do when your air conditioner dies is get it repaired. A quick fix can give you years more service.
That sounds economical.
But with older models, those repairs can get pretty expensive, and it'll still use way more energy than a newer model does.
Which is less ecological and less economical.
Get eco.
ECO. You see where I'm going with this, Jerry?
I sure do. As hard as it is to toss out your old AC and replace the whole thing, it could actually be cheaper in the long run.
Get eco.
ECO. Are you really a big deal in the poop bag industry, Jerry?
The doggos love me, Aaron.
Get eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Bobby Carpenter here with my friend Jake Ballard with QC Kinetics, and both of us played football a long time, and one of the main things is you get beat up while you're playing, and the pain doesn't end just when you leave the field. It's always there.
So for me, I had a lot of pain in my left knee, and it was something that caused me aches and pains every day, especially in the morning and the evening. So looking for pain relief, I found QC Kinetics. They had a great reputation, and I wanted to find out more.
Jake, tell me about the process. Once you got into the office, how did that all go?
Once I arrived at QC Kinetics and went and saw Dr. Tesner, they told me all about my knee, put a game plan together, and we started treatment right away.
What is your day like now?
Now with QC Kinetics, I'm able to chase my crazy son around pain-free, and that's what matters most to me.
Take it from two former professional athletes. If we can get relief, the same is possible for you. Check out QC Kinetics, located in Dublin and in Gehenna, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544, or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
I have a buddy who's going to be popping the question soon. He's planning everything out. He asked me, can you help me out with the ring? I said, of course I can. I've got a guy, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Now you talk, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace. I'm your guy.
Go in, see my friends at Worthington Jewelers, tell them I sent you, and you'll get the true VIP experience.
I'll treat them better than I treat you.
That's not hard. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged. And tell them Common Man sent you.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since '48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
This year, America celebrates 250 years of hard work, determination, and people who built something meant to stand the test of time. That same spirit lives right here in Central Ohio. In 1992, a 22-year-old named Tim Newman climbed onto a roof with a simple goal: do honest work, treat people right, and never cut corners. One roof became hundreds, hundreds became thousands, and every job was built on the same promise: a handshake you can trust. Today, a third generation of the Newman family is helping carrying that legacy forward, making sure the company will be here for your family, just like it's been for your neighbors for more than 3 decades. When it's time for a new roof, siding, or gutters, choose the company that's built its reputation the same way America was built, through hard work, integrity, and pride. Family-owned, locally based, American proud. Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The All-Star break can't come soon enough for the Guardians and Reds. Philadelphia is going to host All-Star festivities this coming Monday with the Home Run Derby. Then on Tuesday is the All-Star Game. Cincinnati's Chase Burns and Sal Stewart will represent the Reds, while Cleveland will send Parker Messick, Travis Bazzana, and Cade Smith. On the field, the Guardians dropped their third straight last night, a 3-1 loss to the Twins in Minnesota. Both teams are back at Target Field tonight at 7:40. Cleveland enters Wednesday trailing the White Sox by 1 game in the Central. As for the Reds, Cincinnati lost to Philadelphia 4-1 last night. Both teams are back at Great American tonight at 7. You can hear that game on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. In the World Cup, the final 2 tickets were punched to the quarterfinals yesterday. Argentina came back from an 0-2 hole to beat Egypt 3-2. Switzerland knocked out Ecuador in penalty kicks. This update is sponsored by Ramos Roofing. Request your free roof or exterior assessment today at RamosRoofingOhio.com. Ramos Roofing, reliable, local, built right.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a First Friday edition of the program. Still time to get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971-BFS. You can also do so live in the YouTube chat. We will tackle those coming up at 11 o'clock. Time now, though, for a little higher or lower. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Oh,
Is that the one with Tommy Morrison?
Yeah, that gets silly.
That's. I don't think I've seen any of them since then because that was
There's
pretty
no
bad.
probably,
But
yeah. I heard Rocky Balboa was decent. Reese, were you Rocky or Rambo?
Well, Rocky is a better film than any of the Rambos, but Rambos are more fun watches. Because
So
you go
first-
Rocky and then Rocky 4,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Rocky 2
is okay.
Rocky 2 is
3.
pretty
I think
daggone
3 is my favorite. That's the one with Mr. T.
good. Really? 3 is
3
your
and 4.
favorite.
3 and 4. 3 and
With-
4. I
with
love
Hulk
4 too.
Hogan, with Thunder Lips.
Yeah, Thunder Lips and Mr. T, that's 3. 4 is probably the one that is closest to my heart because it came out when I was young and it was us against the Soviets. But if you rewatch 4, it's basically just one music montage to another. They just go, here's a little bit of dialogue. Like they totally gloss over Apollo Creed's death. Like it's just, like it's nothing. There's no, he's dead, 10-second funeral, we're in Siberia.
Well, that's why he trains so hard.
That's why he got after it. He had to, and also like a few plot holes. Like why does he have to give up? He can't make any money. Like he's got to give up everything to go fight in the Soviet Union. I would say First Blood is pretty much a perfect movie. I think that movie's perfect. All right, let's have some fun.
So this is from Men's Health. They, again, ranked 47 Sylvester Stallone films.
Okay.
And at number 1 on this is Creed from 2015 with Michael B. Jordan, who plays the son of the aforementioned Apollo Creed.
It can't be 1 because it's not even. And I'll be now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know that I've seen it, but I have no. There's no scenario where a movie where he is not the focal point is number 1. Like this has to be Rambo. This has to be First Blood. It has to be pick one of the Rockies. I think Rocky 1 is a slog. It takes a long time. And it's some dark stuff, too. Paulie's not a great guy in 1. But I can't go Creed 1. I mean, there's no way. That's got to go well down the list.
So I did see Creed. I guess I did check that one out. Yeah, I just can't put it over any of the Rockies. Like, I can't put it over Rocky 1, 2, or 3 or 4. I just can't do that. So it's way too high.
So at number 2, from 1976, Rocky.
Oh.
At number 3, 1997's Copland. Higher or lower for Copland at 3?
Isn't this is Copland a Scorsese movie?
I've never heard of it until this.
So De Niro's in it. Keitel's in it. Stallone plays like a simpleton cop who is like in charge of a town in New Jersey where New York City policemen live. And they basically run their own like little racket. It's good. De Niro's in it. It's good. It's too high in the fact that there's so many other things that you guys have all seen a million times that it's probably too high for it. Let's see who did it.
James Mangold.
No, so Mangold
is the director of the film.
Yeah, but it's Stallone, Harvey Keitel, Liotta, De Niro. It's a pretty loaded cast.
At number 4 on this list for Men's Health is 1993's Demolition Man.
No.
At 5, Rocky 3. At 6, Rocky 2.
I can literally see the aneurysm forming in Bo's brain right now that we have not got to First Blood
This is for
yet.
Men's Health, so be mad at them,
Oh my
not
God!
us.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
The
I mean,
vein in your forehead is popping out.
He can eat things that make a billy goat puke in First Blood. Like, it has to be in the top 3. It would be number 1 for me. It's ridiculous that we've waited this long. This is with Wesley Snipes, right?
The Demolition Man film?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not a good movie. This needs to go well down, well back. This actually inspired. You don't remember it, Reese, but Bake probably remembers it. Dennis Rodman started dyeing his hair because of Wesley Snipes in this. Wesley Snipes had a blonde hairdo in this one, and then Rodman started dyeing his hair after that to mimic it. So that's got to go lower. My favorite Rocky's probably 3 and 4. I would have those ahead of Rocky 1. Rocky 2 is basically just Rocky 1 done over.
It's copy and paste.
It's just the same movie. They probably do it better. It's not as much of a slug as Rocky 1. But where the hell's First Blood? Like, First Blood should be in the top 3.
At number 7, 1982's First Blood.
Now we're talking.
Lower there.
Way higher. Way higher. Way higher.
Baker?
Bake, you've seen First Blood, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Brian Dennehy. Come on.
Where I would put that. By the way, I have one buddy growing up who said that that's what I was going to be when I got older, Brian Dennehy. He would always say that.
You're going to be Brian Dennehy? Like an actor?
That's what I was going to look like when I grew up, was Brian Dennehy.
Well, he's formidable. He's a great outlaw sheriff in the movie Silverado.
I loved him as Big Tom Callahan.
Big Tom Callahan seemed like he had a great time.
So for First Blood, and it's been a long, long time, I feel like I can't put it over the Rockies for me. Like, maybe I would have First Blood 3 or 4 in this. Definitely higher than 7. 7's way too low. Like, Demolition Man, really?
Yeah, and by the way, Rambo First Blood Part 2 should be higher too on this. And I love Rambo, but I understand it doesn't go ahead of the Rockies, but the First Blood as its own, like, forget the sequels, like, just watch First Blood. It's perfect. There's not a single note you change on First Blood. Here's what I want to know, Reese. Where are all the absurd Stallone ones? Where the hell is, like, Tango and Cash? Where is Cliffhanger, where all of a sudden we're on the side of a mountain?
Cliffhanger is at 21.
Where's Cobra? Where he's Marion Cabretti, for God's sakes.
Tango
dealing
and
with
Cash.
The most terrifying. Come on.
Tango and Cash is a pretty good movie.
Tango and Cash is 14.
Dude, Tango and Cash is 2 rival cops. Here's the pitch. two rival cops in Los Angeles. One's a little rough and tumble. The other one's a little fancy. They're rivals for headlines in the L.A. Times, and their one common enemy, Jack Palance, by the way. Yeah, that's right. Wants them both out, so he frames them both for crimes they didn't commit. Print it. Who's in it? Stallone, Kurt Russell? Print it. Let's do it.
Cobra comes in at 19 on this list. Again, Men's Health ranked 47 Sylvester Stallone movies. I don't know if they did this in honor of his 80th birthday, but we're doing this in honor of Stallone's 80th birthday. At 16 is Over the Top. So they think Over the Top's a better film than Rambo 3. Rambo 3's in at 17.
Rambo 3, I think he's in Afghanistan.
Yeah, they're fighting the Soviets.
In Rambo. He's always fighting the Soviets.
Which wins?
What do they say about Cobra? How do they describe it? Do they have like a synopsis of Cobra?
They have one sentence. Cool and coolly violent. This movie about a take no prisoners cop is for Stallone completists and people who like their action movies on the bloody side.
Have you guys seen Cobra?
Yes.
I have not.
You haven't?
No.
Jeez.
There's
well, what's the line he says in it, Reese? He goes, "This is where the law stops and I start." He's driving like a 1954 Ford car, and he's always has a cigarette in his mouth.
Yep.
At one point, he goes into a scene where there's an old pizza sitting on a counter, and I think he heats it with a clothing iron. Do I have that right?
Yes.
I think I have that right.
It's ridiculous.
Brigitte Nielsen's in it. They're like the villains in it are quite terrifying. I will say that. Like, I don't know if Bootsy could sleep if I showed him Cobra.
So you also got Fist, F-I-S-T at 20, Cliffhanger at 21, The Expendables 2 at 22.
Are those good? The Expendables?
They're fun.
Are they?
But
he was in a crazy movie with Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone and was it Assassins?
So Assassins has Antonio Banderas in it. That came out in 95. They have that at 27.
I think Sharon Stone's in that one.
There's Grudge Match where he fights Robert De Niro.
What? He fought De Niro in a movie?
28. This was in 2013 when they were both old, like Kevin Hart's in it.
I saw that movie, and I don't know if it's the greatest movie ever, but it was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
They all are.
I like the OG Judge Dredd. That came out in 95. They've got that at 30, behind Grudge Match and the awesome film Escape Plan with him and Arnold getting off a boat. Oh, spoiler alert. They're on a boat.
Specialist. That's the movie he did with Sharon Stone. Yeah. That's another crazy one. Dude, they just greenlit so much nonsense. They just...
I mean, at that time, through 30 years, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, action movie...
Yeah.
You're probably going to make at least what you spent on the production.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. They just crushed it. He's 80. God bless, man. That is spectacular. All right, coming up next, big college football media days are underway. The Big 12 with a big one. They are underway. Pretty interesting back and forth between Brett Yormark and a Texas Tech reporter. We'll have a little fun with that. You're going to want to hear it coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Got a craving for scratch-made food, ice-cold 29-degree beer in every game on wall-to-wall TVs? Head to Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Great views, killer eats, colder beer, Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation. If you dread dealing with your insurance company more than you dread yard work, in 90-degree weather...
Wow, it is a scorcher out there today.
With a swarm of hungry mosquitoes buzzing around, then you might have Insuranoia. And if you have Insuranoia, then you should get NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
This is Mary at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
Hi, I've been dreaming of having an epic college setup.
But your college budget is less than epic.
Way less.
Well, with IKEA, you can get everything you need for college, from bedding to storage and decor, all at a great price.
That's good economics.
Sounds like someone just found their major.
Visit IKEA in-store or at ikea.us to get ready for college. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll keep that mix of sun and clouds going for the rest of the day. It's a warm one out there with highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, lower 70s. Then for your Thursday, partly sunny skies once again. There may be a few showers and storms out there later on. Otherwise warm, upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
And as always, we are proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. Feast and Sawmill, wedding weekends coming up. They will take care of you. I assure you of that. Big 12 Media Days taking place. I'll give them credit here. They got ahead of everybody. This is kind of there's a little bit of a downtime now, especially they benefit World Cup, U.S. no longer involved. And they're trying. And I think when I think of the Big 12 guys, this is what I would say. Can't say they're not trying. Brett Yormark will try anything. I think by far of the Power Four conferences, they have the weakest quality of teams. I think they have the weakest branding. I think they have the weakest footprint. I think the one thing that they have going for them is they have a commissioner who is really face forward in terms of will try anything. My God, they sponsored their media days, but with Monster Energy. They had it at the Star in Frisco, so they're playing all the hits. The other thing they have going for it is in the case of Texas Tech, they've got some oil money. And there's some other Big 12 schools that if they decide to get engaged on this, and I'm curious what happens with Oklahoma State this year, they can be contenders in a hurry. But from a brand standpoint, I don't think anyone would argue that they're well down the list. So this media day is a little bit different, too, because of everything that the Big 12 has been through with Texas Tech in regard to Brendan Sorsby. So this was a back and forth between Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, and Texas Tech media personality Sean Dillon. Let's have a listen.
Sean Dillon, Rocket Brigade. Commission, Texas Tech got fined over tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU paddles broke an always maker rule, has a tradition exemption. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders. Big 12 sued them anyway, while Cincinnati hasn't been yet touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe it?
Can you sit? Let me come closer to you. Stand up. Ask that question again, and I'm going to give you the answer I want to give you, so go ahead.
Texas Tech got fined for tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU has had paddles that were given a noisemaker exemption back in 2012. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders, and yet there is a lawsuit. Cincinnati has yet to be touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe them?
No, I didn't say greater than 12. You misquoted me. I said we're going forward as 16 strong, and that's my answer to your question. But thank you for that question. Appreciate it.
Well, he didn't answer the question at all. And you could make an argument that the most valuable entity in the Big 12 is Texas Tech. They're the most ready to go. They're your defending champions. They're going to throw money at everything. They played for a national championship in softball. They're competitive in basketball. They made the playoff in football. They're probably going to make it again in football and will be consistently there. He deserved an answer to that question.
Yeah, Yormark had a great opportunity to address the Sorsby stuff from jump, and he didn't. He said, we're going to talk about the teams in attendance. We're going to talk about our conference. And I think that was a huge miss out of him, because at least if you got Monster there, I was saying, like, that's at the Star, so bring in like a monster truck, have some pyrotechnics, but also address Sorsby right away, because you've had so much about that with state's attorneys general, with athletic directors from your conference, even with, another conference member in Cincinnati involved with not only Sorsby's gambling, but suing Brendan Sorsby for breach of contract. So the idea that he didn't address it at the onset of it, and the idea that when this guy asked him his question about the equivalencies aren't there because the tortilla thing and then the paddles that make noise for Oklahoma State fans, it's not the same, but you needed to address it because you should have known that that was going to be really the only thing people cared about for the most part.
100%, like to not get ahead of Sorsby right away.
And it was real simple. And it can also be a statement for anybody that does this in the future. You can just say, we in the Big 12 don't want to condone that ever. And we don't want any of our schools having a kid playing for them knowing that they did that. Now, the Cincinnati part of thing might be awkward for him because there's really, I don't know, like they haven't shown any proof yet, I guess, that Sorsby was gambling on Cincinnati games that I know of. I haven't seen that. I'm sure they can go back through the records and find that. It's also different because, and I've said this before, the Sorsby thing, they were preventing something from happening at Texas Tech. Saying, look, if you did this, you're ineligible and we don't want you playing. The Cincinnati thing is after the fact, and I still don't know like what the right punishments are for that, because we can talk about vacating wins and taking banners down and all of that stuff, and like we have in the past. I don't know if that really does anything.
I mean, Sorsby's agent told a Dallas radio station that Cincinnati knew, the very least, about his gambling.
But we don't have any proof, though. He didn't put any proof out there showing it.
He would have the ability to if he wanted to.
Yeah. And maybe those things are coming.
And what this comes down to for the Big 12, and this is a good time to remind everybody that who's going to go investigate it at Cincinnati? They don't have a private, Thomas Magnum's not showing up in a 328 GTO Ferrari and having that conversation. Like, that's not what's happening. So they don't have a PI. They don't have anybody to investigate it. And if you're the Big 12, do you even want to? If you're the Big 12, you've won. You want this thing to just go away. And I do think it's fair for the guy who's, on the Texas Tech beat to ask a question. Why has Cincinnati not been gone at the way that Texas Tech was? Have you looked into, did this happen at Cincinnati? Did they enable this? Did they know? When did they know? All of those things. The reality is Yormark doesn't want to do any of those things because that's not what Brett Yormark's job is. Brett Yormark's job is to create interest and money for his member institutions. It's pretty simple, guys. That's what his job is, to put his member institutions in a position to make the most possibly financially. That's the job.
I'm sure they're waiting for the Ohio Gaming Commission to look into all that and do and then they'll be like, oh, we'll take those findings and we'll then work with it. The one thing I don't understand about that whole exchange is, why does Brent Yormark have to have the little man syndrome there?
Yeah, he's got to make him
hey, let me get closer to you and you stand up when you ask. What are we doing here? Are you trying to prove that you're tough and that you're...
Yes. He tried to bully him.
Had a few monsters and was ready to go.
He tried to bully him, and the guy just stood up and then bullied right back. And then the crazy thing is Yormark, in an effort to belittle the reporter, he comes across as little because he doesn't even answer the damn question. It'd be one thing if you said, ask that question again to me, and you get ready for my answer. Well, he didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. He didn't have an answer. He said, you misquoted me. That's it.
How do you not have an answer?
How do you not have an answer? You knew that question was going to come. And you go through that whole rigmarole. You stand up and you ask that question, but then you don't have an answer for it. You come across small. Absolutely small. Now, I'll give Yormark some credit. You alluded to this, Reese. A $20 million a year partnership with Monster Energy includes jersey patches, field logos, entitlement partners for football, men's basketball, women's basketball. $20 million for the league.
Which, again, guys, you come across small.
What's $20 million that you didn't have?
The Big Ten would laugh at that.
So it's more, which, better than less.
What is the best case scenario for the Big 12 over the next 5 to 10 years?
I think for the conference, top 10 BYU or another school, not Texas Tech, making a legitimate playoff push.
I think their best case scenario is Cody Campbell gets what he wants and gets a national championship for Texas Tech. I don't think it's happening, but that's their best case.
Yeah, the other thing they need, guys, is they need those other Texas schools to engage. They need TCU. They need Baylor to throw some of their money around and get after it a little bit. Jake Trotter knows this conference better than anybody. He'll join us on all of this in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The big one returns to Ohio. It's the Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals presented by Grundy Insurance. See over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and classic trucks on display. And don't miss Good Guys Autocross racing action, a tire-smoking burnout competition, a pro street takeover, an earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest. Meet the top builders and so much more. Happening all this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Summer doesn't start until you've had UDF peach ice cream, made with hand-picked peaches at our dairy right here in Ohio. So have a peach sundae, a peach shake, a peachy cobbler ice cream quake, and start your summer now, only at United Dairy Farmers.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first, but when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has earned the trust of homeowners by putting customers first and giving back to the communities we serve. From roofing and siding to gutters, every project gets the white glove treatment. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
Fall is the season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leave with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free sale. Visit windownation.com now.
All right, buddy, before we get to the to all the football, what is your number one draft pick of Stallone movies? He turned 80 2 days ago.
I would probably say Rocky 1.
1. Okay. Fair. All right. You're a Rocky guy more than Rambo?
Yes. I actually watched Rocky 4 with my 2 boys a couple of weeks ago. They'd never seen it before. They were really interested in Dolph Lundgren's character, Drago.
They loved it, though, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's like a music video for 90 minutes. It's pretty great.
You go back and watch that now, it's like, why was there like a robot? It's pretty cheesy in hindsight, but at the time, because I remember watching it when I was 8 or 9, and it was like the greatest movie ever.
I still, Jake, I just think the simple answer to that is there was a lot of cocaine in Hollywood in the 80s.
I guess
and they just greenlit a lot of stuff, and they didn't really. Nobody thought about any of it. It's
probably a robot, because that makes a lot of sense.
Which he wants to date, kind of, right?
To the movie,
he's like attracted to her. Doesn't he kind of like attracted to her too? It's weird.
It's like his wife, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
I don't know.
What do you make of what Brett Yormark has done with the Big 12? They're having their media days down in at the Star in Frisco, presented by.
Right?
Very early, which I think smart, like get out ahead of it. I think it's smart. I don't think it's smart how he kind of didn't really address the Sorsby stuff the way that I think he probably should have. But
I thought that's what you were going to ask me.
Well, I'll get to that.
Not the time to talk about it. All right. Let me know when the right time is.
Let's start there then. Do you know him at all? Why would he not just tackle that head on?
No, he came around after I left covering college football in that area. Back in 2019, because I think Bob Bowlesby retired after the Oklahoma-Texas split, which was obviously pretty contentious. So I don't really know Yormark at all. He came from, a different sector. I thought that he had an opportunity to kind of speak for the rest of the members and passed on it. And really, I didn't think the Big 12 was going to fight the Sorsby eligibility issue very hard. They ended up fighting it harder than I anticipated. I thought they got some political cover from some of the AGs in the conference, but I don't understand the idea of we're not going to address it. I mean, everybody knows what happened. Everybody wants to know what you think about it. And if you're just trying to placate Texas Tech because you're afraid of some kind of repercussion, I'm like, where is Texas Tech going to go if they get that mad? Nobody's taking Texas Tech right now.
No, there's not a whole lot of options for them. And yet they're in this spot where they both kind of need each other, I would say, Jake, right? Because their clearest Texas Tech, for better or worse, is their best brand as it stands right now. I mean, they play for the championship in softball.
Their best football program right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're the best football program as it stands right now. So they kind of need each other. In terms of how Texas Tech kind of comes out of all of this, what do you think Campbell and Tech will do going forward? Do you think that they will just continue to operate in this way, that he will relentlessly pursue this because he seems to have bottomless pits of oil with which to pull from?
In terms of recruiting,
just roster building and making sure they're at the top of it. I mean, this relentless pursuit of the top.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change. I think you'll see Texas Tech only get more aggressive. They have a really respected GM in James Blanchard, who, the combination of Campbell, Blanchard, and Joey McGuire, the head coach, somewhat to a lesser extent, are the trio that kind of got this rolling, where they have the ability to evaluate and then go get the players they want. So yeah, I don't think that's changing. I think Campbell probably is he the most powerful person with Big 12 ties at this point? I think that might be the case.
Oh yeah,
he's different. Boone Pickens spent a lot of money at Oklahoma State, but that was just mostly upgrading facilities. I mean, Campbell is way more involved in the politics of the Big 12 and college football at large. And, Boone Pickens, he feuded with Mike Gundy, but that was kind of the extent of the news making, he did, especially in his post oil baron career. So I think Cody Campbell's probably, think about the head coaches in the Big 12. There's not really anybody who, I think wields a lot of power at this point. He probably, there's no Joe Castiglione anymore. I don't think any of the presidents really stand out. He's probably the most powerful person in the Big 12, and I'm including the commissioner in that conversation.
I agree with you 100%. I think he's the face of the league, which is pretty crazy for a guy who's really wealthy, but on the board at Tech and all those things. I think he's the face of the league. I mean, he's on those commercials nonstop. Yeah. Yeah, he's all of those
commercials
things.
Where you have no idea what he's talking about.
No clue. No clue. But he's there.
It's like you're running for office, and I have no idea what party you are, what you stand for. I just know you're a guy. That's basically the extent of his commercial.
If you were Yormark, and you know that area pretty well, you know a lot of those teams in that league because there are a lot of the ones that you covered when Oklahoma was in the league. What should they be over the next 5 to 10 years? What should Yormark try to make the Big 12 into?
Well, you want to keep it part of the Power Four. I mean, I think that's the goal, because I would just be worried if at some point the SEC and the Big Ten become a different entity altogether. Maybe the ACC dissolves into those two conferences, and then you're kind of somewhere in between the MAC and whatever version of the SEC and the Big Ten is. So you want to continue to have a path to the playoff. You want to continue to kind of dominate college basketball, which they have done with some of their other programs, like Houston and obviously KU and et cetera, et cetera. But I think that if you're Yormark, that would be my biggest concern, is that, at some point, well, let's put it this way. College football has been changing a lot in ways that we would have never foreseen. And I don't know what the next shoe to drop is going to be, but when it happens, you don't want to be left without a seat at the table. So whatever you can do to stay in that mix, I think is what you would pursue, whether it's the number of teams in the playoff. Maybe you have to placate the Big Ten and the SEC a little bit on that front, which I think that they've been somewhat willing to do. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is just keeping the Big 12 in existence, which really, since Nebraska left in 2011, it kind of feels like that's been the Big 12 status quo, is just trying to stay alive.
Is that the when the dam started to crack, was Nebraska?
Yes. I mean, I think that there were fundamental issues with the creation of the Big 12 and the way that it was structured, with Texas really concentrating a lot of power relative to the other members. But yeah, I mean, I think when Nebraska left, anytime you lose somebody, like the SEC's never lost anybody, right?
No.
Same with the Big Ten. So as soon as you lose one member, especially a tentpole member like Nebraska was at the time, you're just fighting for survival at that point. The Pac-12 almost became the Pac-16, and when that didn't happen, it was like the Pac-12 was fighting for survival. So if you're not expanding, you're just trying to survive. And I think that's where the Big 12 has been for 15 years now, and the ACC a little bit too.
Was there a spot, a moment in time where Texas and Oklahoma could have kind of saved this thing? like before all of this, before the SEC poaching, all of it. I remember the Longhorn Network, all of those things. Was the Longhorn Network, was that kind of the linchpin of Texas doing their thing? And then that was, all of those things kind of happened in order, right?
Yeah. So I was working at the Daily Oklahoma newspaper when this happened. And I remember Larry Scott, the old Pac-12 commissioner, ate a barbecue in Oklahoma City in between visiting Norman and Stillwater. And at that point, everybody seemed to be on board with the Pac-16, which would have been the Pac-10 plus Colorado had already gone, right? They were already there. Yep. And then you were going to add the two Oklahoma schools. You were going to add Texas. And after Texas A&M decided they didn't want to go along with this and went to the SEC, you had Texas Tech as the other Pac-16 team. And at the last minute, it was a combination of Texas politics, not wanting Texas to be in a California league, and then ESPN stepping in with the $300 million television network offered to Texas, which, that was back in the days when ESPN just had unlimited money to throw around because of the cable fees. It didn't really drive, I think, any traffic or anything, the Longhorn Network, but it kept Texas in the Big 12, and that allowed, ESPN to continue to broadcast college football from that conference in the way that they wanted. So that was the watershed year. I don't know that the Big 12 was ever going to survive once Nebraska left, but I do think, at least in some form it resembled at the beginning. But I think the Pac-16 would have been pretty formidable.
Yeah.
If they could have made that happen, because you would have had, Oregon, Washington, USC. You would have had Texas. And Texas, like from a cultural standpoint, is a better fit with the Big Ten and certainly the Pac-12 than it ever was going to be in the SEC, even though it's worked out well. So those were some of the factors that were part of those discussions back then. And once the Pac-12 fell apart, or the Pac-16 fell apart, the Pac-12 was going to eventually implode because they just didn't have enough eyeballs in college football fandom as the rest of the country. And you always knew that Texas was going to continue to have a wandering eye, because the Big 12 is clearly not one of the top two conferences at that point.
It's such a fascinating sliding door stuff that happens, because I think we can all agree that if the old Big 12 were still here, it'd be pretty formidable. If all of those teams were still in it, you'd be in a pretty good spot. And I think college football would be in a better spot. But alas, that is in the rear view, my friend. Good conversation as always, my buddy. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for your time.
Okay. See you, Bo. Take care, buddy.
All right. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Summer heats up fast here in Columbus, and bad windows can have a tough time keeping a home cool and can send energy bills through the roof.
I hate to admit it, but we've had some complaints about our windows doing that.
Uh-oh.
I just tell them it's just like being at the beach, minus the water and the beach and the happiness, and you're in your living room. It's gross.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Join us for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, July 24th and 25th. We guarantee the best price year-round, and Wedding Weekend adds an advantage you won't find anywhere else. Enjoy preferred bridal pricing up to 30% off for 1 weekend only. Visit Diamond Seller, July 24th and 25th.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items. Then carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks. And our cool trucks keep your food fresh right to your door. Fresh groceries your way with Kroger Delivery. And right now, you can save $20 on your first delivery order. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Think you know Buckeye football? These two say, hold my beer. The Beat with Austin and Berm.
Sponsored by the Waterworks.
Daily on the Fan's YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And still time to get your questions into the fellas at 971BFS on the X platform. Also in the YouTube chat, we will take those Hey Guys questions and we will answer them coming up in about 12 minutes. Time now for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
So we've done a lot of discussion about the Big 12. You heard from Conference Commissioner Brett Yormark, who wouldn't answer decently simple question about their handling of the Brendan Sorsby situation. This from Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. The NCAA has sent a letter of inquiry to Cincinnati regarding Brendan Sorsby's time with the program. The university expects to respond soon as part of the NCAA's investigative process over possible rules violations. Sorsby spent 2 seasons with the Bearcats in 24 and in 25 before transferring to Texas Tech. Sorsby, of course, is now out of competitive football. Thing or not a thing?
Boy, I think this is going to be pretty tricky how they navigate this, because I think, so who is most aggrieved here from their perspective in this whole thing? Probably Tech, right? Aren't they the most aggrieved? Like, they feel like they were duped.
Yes.
They feel like they signed a kid in, what we call that shotgun marriage time of that portal that's open in December. They signed a kid who was a number 1 guy. They couldn't properly vet him. Nobody's feeling sorry for him. I mean, this is This is what happens in a shotgun marriage. It doesn't always work. But at the same time, they're the most aggrieved. So outside of them, like, who wants any more on any of this? And I guess this was kind of my point with Jake. Like, and we talked about this when we were discussing this, 20 minutes ago. Like, who really wants to dig into this, really? And the answer, I don't think anybody does, except maybe Texas Tech wants a pound of flesh from Cincinnati. Maybe. So it feels like a thing, but I tend to think that this thing is just going to kind of go quietly into the night, is kind of my hunch on this.
There's part of me that thinks that it probably will go quietly into the night. But I think that the one thing these schools have shown in all of this is they want to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. I really think that the gambling part of this, while you're at a place gambling on your team's games, I really think they want to make sure that that is not going on. So I could see them coming after Cincinnati here if they knew, and try to put a penalty there that's, listen, if you get caught covering this up, we're really going to put the screws to you because we don't want this going on. But I'll also, I could be totally wrong. There's not one part of me that believes Texas Tech didn't know all of this. These are small circles that college football programs, administrators run in. These are small circles that these players are in. This was a team in your own conference. There's no part of me that believes Texas Tech did not know something. They may not have known all of it. They may not have known to what extent, but they knew. They had an idea.
I'll concede it'd be shocking to me if there weren't whispers, right? Like, how much did you know? It's probably like one of those things. I've covered coaches who have done stuff like this before, where they'll say, like, somebody comes in, like a compliance guy comes in, like, whoa, I don't want to know. I don't know. I think that there was a lot of that.
So if there was whispers, like, they just turned a blind eye to it. They didn't want to know.
Yes,
so,
of course.
Like, I don't feel like Texas Tech was aggrieved in this thing.
No. I said they think they are aggrieved.
They can think what they want. But
yeah, no, I know. No one feels sorry for them. But I'm telling you, like, nobody, that's why I think everybody else just wants this over.
Especially Brett Yormark.
Yes. Just wants it done, man.
They had talked yesterday about their $20 million deal with Monster and Monster Energy having their logo on court, on field, presenting Big 12 conference games, jersey patches, or at least the potential for jersey patches. I saw this from Ben Portnoy of Sports Business Journal. He says Kansas, part of the Big 12, is slated to announce a 5-year deal with digital finance company Ripple that will feature XRP cryptocurrency patches across all athletic uniforms. Ben adds, sources suggest it's among the most lucrative college jersey patch deals to date. Thing or not a thing?
Well, the key to that line is to date, because we haven't had that many yet. So who's done it? They've done it. Wisconsin's done it. Has anyone else done it that we've
LSU, I think, has announced
LSU
one.
LSU had one. It was, what was that? Like a pretty big electric company or something like that.
How could Kansas's be worth more than LSU's? You put a jersey patch on an LSU football uniform?
Maybe they're thinking
I know
Kansas basketball.
For sure.
Right?
I know it. Yeah, I know it for sure, but like it feels like
I'm guessing too this cryptocurrency company Ripple has money to burn.
Yeah, could be. Look, it's all part of where we are, which is we have to find money. It's all found money is what it is. So it's a thing, and I think you'll see it here. So just so I'm clear, because we had it that it's the Monster Energy too, right?
So
they're going to have both
of this deal. They're going to have both.
So you'll have like a Monster Energy, and then you're also going to have a
other one? I mean, I think it would be real easy to throw one, especially like on the basketball jersey, right at the top on the back, right over the name.
I think Kansas has one there.
Do they?
Yeah, I think it's got a KU or the Jayhawk there.
Well, bye-bye Jayhawk.
Bye-bye Jayhawk.
Jayhawk ain't paying him any money.
But the Big 12 logo, I guess, gets a gritty Monster Energy rebrand.
Yeah, you're going to have to decide what it's going to look like, but rest assured that all this is going to look like NASCAR by the time we're all said and done, because no one's going to give back their money, so they have to keep finding new money. It's kind of that simple.
For what it's worth, LSU's jersey patch is with Woodside Energy.
Okay. That feels like that would be a pretty lucrative one.
Yeah.
Would be my guess on that. Yeah, great stuff. All right, final hour of the program coming up next. Chris Fedor dropping by at 11:30 with the very latest on the NBA and the Cavaliers. We kick it off with a little Hey Guys. That is coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
At CEC Turf and Tractor, family means everything. That's why we're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations to the CEC family. We're honored to carry on the relationships Green & Sons has built in these communities for generations while expanding our ability to serve you with more parts, more inventory, and faster response times. As one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers, CEC Turf and Tractor is growing without losing sight of what matters most: hardworking people, trusted relationships, and hometown service. Visit CECturfandtractor.com today for all your Kubota needs.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. That's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Morgan & Morgan isn't just an injury firm. It's our family's life work. It's my husband, it's my sons, it's me. When we take a case, we see a family just like ours. $30 billion recovered is something I'm proud of. But what I'm really proud of are the families we stood beside. It's an honor to fight for you when you need our support the most. Morgan & Morgan, for the people and your family.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Making ends meet matters for Ohio families. Congressman Mike Carey is working to help you keep more of what you earn and get the benefits you deserve. Mike Carey supported the Social Security Fairness Act, helping ensure public servants like teachers, firefighters, and police officers receive the full benefits they've earned. And Mike Carey is working to deliver tax relief for more Ohioans. Congressman Carey backed historic tax cuts for working families and seniors. That plan eliminated taxes on tips and overtime, expanded the child tax credit, and provided thousands in tax relief for Ohio seniors. Because whether you're working, raising a family, or planning for retirement, every dollar matters. Visit carey.house.gov to learn more or get help accessing benefits or dealing with a federal agency. Congressman Carey's office is here to help and fighting to help your family keep more of what you earn. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Mike Carey.
Cool cars, cool people, good tires. Get ready for the biggest and best automotive happening of the year. The Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals presented by Grundy Insurance. Over 6,000 classes. Shop the swap meet in Huge Fender Midway. See which ride takes home the crown of the Good Guys 2026 Forge Line Street Machine and Classic Instrument Street Rod of the Year. All this weekend at the newly renovated Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Details at good-guys.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Baseball's first half comes to an end on Sunday. 5 games remain for the Reds and Guardians before All-Star festivities next Monday in Philadelphia. The Phillies are in Cincinnati for a 3-game set with the Reds. They won Game 1 last night 4-1. Game 2 of that set's tonight at 7:10. You can hear it on the Fan following Wednesday's Buckeye Show. Red Legs have 2 All-Stars in Chase Burns and Sal Stewart. Guardians have 3 to the All-Star game this year. Parker Messick, Travis Bazzana, and Cade Smith. On the field, Guardians dropped their 3rd straight last night, a 3-1 loss to the Twins in Minnesota. Both teams are back at Target Field tonight at 7:40. In college football news, Yahoo Sports says the NCAA sent a letter of inquiry to the University of Cincinnati regarding their former quarterback Brendan Sorsby and possible gambling violations committed during Sorsby's 2 seasons with the Bearcats before he transferred to Texas Tech. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Our good buddy Chris Fedor going to join us in 29 minutes from now, the very latest on the Cavaliers and LeBron James, as those sweepstakes continue apparently between now and then, though. Time for a little Hey Guys. Hit it, fellas.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions.
All right, so we got an early jump on the YouTube chat this morning, so thanks to everybody for getting in and getting those Hey Guys to us. We can also, if we can read them on the air at 971 BFS. There's an important caveat there, I hope. We'll start with Jay. Says, hey guys, with summer here, it's officially fair season. I think the Ohio State Fair starts on July 29th, if I'm not mistaken. He asks, what's your favorite fair food or activity?
Okay. Fairs were a big deal where I grew up because we didn't have Cedar Point. And we didn't have Kings Island. So it was kind of the only chance you had. And every weekend was a fair. The Marias County Fair was a big deal for us in Shelby, Montana. Then the Montana State Fair was in Great Falls. That was always a big deal. That was a big deal for us. And there were these fairs that happened throughout the summer. Fairs and rodeos. That was my youth in the summer. That's what we did. So the 2 things that jump out to me on food is there is nothing quite like a funnel cake smell. Like, that's the one that will go all the way down the midway. You can smell that one coming. And then the other one, and I don't know how this popped into my head, but I just remember it vividly. I remember the tacos at the Montana State Fair being perfect in my head as a kid. Now, my guess is they weren't. That I probably have different tastes now than I did then. But in that moment, they felt pretty perfect. And I don't know what made them so perfect, but they were like the perfect combination of like chewy and crunchy, kind of a melted congealed cheese with the meat. It all worked. Favorite activities, my dad would inevitably try to take us into the livestock corridor, and I'd have to look at cows, which just sucked so bad. Like, we'd always, can we just please go ride rides? And we would always have, because rides costed money, so you couldn't do that. But guess what didn't cost money? Looking at cows. You look at cows all day long. Didn't cost you anything. You get that with the price of admission. So we would go down these stupid livestock barns forever to go to when we went to the fair, which drove me nuts. My favorite ride as a kid was probably Gravitron. I really liked the idea. You guys familiar with the Gravitron?
That's the spinning one where the floor drops?
Yeah, floor drops, and you can basically like go sideways, upside down, like the gravity keeps you to the wall. I never got sick from it, and I always liked that. Yeah, a lot of people do. I never did.
So many classic fair foods like the fries and
fries.
Corn dog or fried cheese on a stick, like the lemonades or the lemon shake-ups or whatever. Well, I was always an elephant ear guy over a funnel cake, so I love a good elephant ear. And still to this day, probably my favorite food, and I don't know if you can get them anywhere else outside of a fair or a Cedar Point or something like that. I love that big old Texas tenderloin sandwich. That was always so good.
We didn't have those. I don't know why. We had a lot of beef. We didn't have tenderloin sandwiches. Reese, how about you?
I appreciated always Ohio, the state fair. I don't think I ever went to the Franklin County Fair. That's in Hilliard starting on July 20th. But the state fair, every year, they tried to deep fry something else. Like, what now can we deep fry? I mean, the butter sculpture was always, I think, the draw for me because I like dumb stuff like that. I am looking, this year's state fair music lineup has Nelly, the Daz Band, Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al.
Oh, wow.
And a musical evening with Gin Blossoms, Blues Traveler, and the Spin Doctors.
Oh, hello, 1994. Let's go.
That is my wheelhouse.
Let's go.
Holy smokes. Just straight bangers. 2 hours of bangers out of those. Who was that? Gin Blossoms who?
Gin Blossoms, Blues Traveler, and the Spin Doctors.
So the Gin Blossoms one album has like 4 hits.
Yeah.
Blues Traveler's probably got 10 songs, you know.
Gosh.
And then what was the third one? What's the last one?
Spin Doctors are the special guest.
Oh, come on. Spin Doctors has got, they got some bangers, man.
But we may have a new thing here. We need to, you and me, go to that night of the fair and have Tyler follow us around in video.
Oh, my God. Just nostalgia. Just nostalgia it up. It's potent, Bake. I'm in.
Saturday, August 8th for that show. So that'll be the night after. I mean, we'll be out at Ohio State's fall camp the 6th and the 7th, that Thursday and Friday. And Saturday we'll be out there as well. So that's a hell of a weekend.
Just banging rails with John Popper and then hammering the harmonica.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Let's go. God, that's great.
Muggsy's Leaper asks, hey guys, do you think LeBron should go back to the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland to make his return announcement as long as it's I'm coming home?
I think it would be Akron. If he did anything, I think it would be Akron if he does it. And I would... Yeah, I think he is. I think he's going to go back. I think he's gone... I think it's gone... He's flirted with it for too long. There's been too many, little trails leading it to this end, and I just don't... I think he's smart enough, but I've been wrong on him before because I always said I saw no scenario how he could leave Los Angeles and be anything other than a villain there, and I still think that's true if he goes anywhere other than Cleveland. I think Cleveland's the one place he could end up that people would, in Los Angeles, be like, okay, yeah, I get it, that's his home. I think if he does it, it will be probably something simple on social, and then he'll do similarly to what he did in 2015, and there will be a homecoming. It's one of the most complicated relationships of athlete and city ever. I've used this analogy before. It's kind of the best one I can come up with. It would be like if, as a dude or chick, you're like a 6. And at one point in your life, you dated a 10. And then the 10 broke up with you and started dating somebody else, and you were really pissed off about it. But then the 10 came back, and you're like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm better off. I'm so much better off. God, she's a 10. This is a win. And then she left again. You're like, okay, at least we had these moments. And then some people up there are like, well, how dare she? She told us she would never leave us again. You're going to get the 10 back for a year. That's what this is. So it's just a really complicated relationship that he has with the fan base up there, but all will be forgiven if he plays there again, and that place will be bonkers if he plays there again.
I'm guessing LeBron wants no part of that the Cleveland downtown Boys and Girls Club, unless it's just giving money to it. I think he's going to he'll stay far away from that. I don't think there should be any kind of full circle moment there for him. I don't think he wants any part of it.
Baker, have the button ready. I'll go with Chris's first. Hey guys, how do you manage other responsibilities during football season? He says, for example, my kid wants to play flag football, but it's on Saturdays in the fall.
It's tough. So you guys remember this, like when the boys used to play games on Saturdays, like a lot of times I'd have to DVR when I was coaching. When they were playing like little guy football, I would have to coach it. Not would have to coach it. It was an honor to coach it, but the games would be all over the map. So it's just the one instance where you have to DVR. And then what I would do is I would turn my phone off, and then as soon as it's funny how you can get to this. I don't know if you guys are at this point, if you've ever been in the spot, but like I can see when someone who I know sort of is coming up to me to talk about the Buckeyes. I can see it coming. I can almost see it on their face. So as soon as I see one of those people approaching, I'm like, no, DVR, nope. As soon as anybody would say, hey, did you? Nope, DVRing. And that's what I did to do it. It's nothing great, but the reality is if your kid wants you to coach and you want to be a part of it, you got to do it because it's the best, and you should do it. But that's what I tried to do, is just try to avoid it. It's tough.
So I think you just do it, right, Bo? Like you said, like you just deal with it. You find ways around it. I've always been someone. I am if it's a game I really care about, I will DVR and I will avoid everything. I'll drive in the car with no radio. I'll turn notifications off on my phone. If it's something that I really want to do, like Buckeye games, I know it's very hard. But you do. Sometimes you miss them and you got to go back and watch them, whether it be like Big Ten 60, where you watch it all in an hour real quick, or however, you just kind of figure it out and you do it. And it's funny, you talk about that, somebody's coming to. There's certain people that I know, if I run into them, the first thing they're going to say to me is something about the show.
Yeah.
It's always just something.
Yeah.
Chimdi Chekwa's burner.
Chimdi Chekwa
asks, hey guys, would you rather go to prison for 5 years or be in a coma for 10?
Oh my God, that's a heavy one. Prison for what's the prison? Am I in the Jordan Belfort prison? Do I get to play tennis and I'm in Leavenworth? I'm like Vic?
That took me a second there. The Jordan Belfort.
You're on Rikers Island.
Can I be in the Jordan Belfort prison where I get to play a little tennis? And,
Martha Stewart jail.
Yeah, if I can do that, I'll do 5 years of soft time. That might be like a vacation. 5 years of soft time. 10-year coma. No way. I can't. That's. I don't. 10-year. It's just too long. Don't you think like a 5-year prison sentence and a 5-year coma isn't that equal? Suck.
So
which is worse, like being 5 years completely detached and not knowing it, or 5 years incarcerated?
I go
in
a
place
coma.
like
I'm not lasting 5 years in jail.
I don't think I am either.
So there's no part of me that wants to deal with prison, but I don't want to lose 10 years of my life either. Like totally. At least in prison, I'm alive. You have like internet and stuff. You can keep up with the world a little bit.
Not going to prison.
I feel like I'm personable enough and good enough with all kinds of people in this world that I feel like I could make it work. I'd get on the right side of the right people, and
you're also big. Like, you're a man's man, big. Like, I mean, you're gonna. I think you're big. I mean, like, I think Reese and I, it ends up really poorly. I've seen too many prison movies. Give me the coma, baby.
Unless I know it's the Martha Stewart jail.
I just don't want to lose 10 years of my life.
That's why I said it had to be 5 and 5. It's got to be 5 years coma, 5 years prison.
Still going.
Then I take the coma.
Put me in the coma.
Yeah, coma me up, baby. I'm not going to Lucasville. I'll tell you that right now. Hell, I don't even want to go in the old one that's abandoned with Dom, let alone a real one. Forget that. We'll continue with the Hey Guys coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. You're running that air conditioner because it's hot out. If your windows are old and leaky, you're wasting money. Right now at Universal Windows Direct, you buy 4 windows, you get 4 free. Plus 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. That's 4 full years with 0 interest. Give them a call for your free in-home estimate today. 614-502-5220. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. 4 windows, get 4 free, plus 48 months, 0% interest. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Every summer morning is different. Luckily, Tim Hortons has a breakfast wrap for every morning. Kick off your summer with the bold new steak and egg wrap. Start your morning fresh with the egg white and Swiss wrap. Or keep it classic with the grilled breakfast wrap. No matter what summer mood you're in, you can always find a wrap at Tim Hortons. Your morning happy place.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer and Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer and Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer and Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
One bite in, you'll be saying, "That's hot as fire." Speedway's new Hot as Fire chicken sandwich turns up the temp with spicy breaded chicken on a brioche bun. Top it your way with pickles, a little hot sauce mayo combo, and more. It's a hot sandwich kind of summer. Don't just beat the heat, eat the heat. The new Hot as Fire chicken sandwich, $4.99, only at Speedway. Valid through 8/25/26. Participating stores. Exclude Speedy Cafe. Toppings and sauces sold separately. See app for full terms.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Join the Fan weeknights at 6 for the Buckeye Show. And if you're asking if it's just a bunch of homers rooting for all things Ohio State, yes, it is. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll keep that mix of sun and clouds going for the rest of the day. It's a warm one out there with highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, lower 70s. Then for your Thursday, partly sunny skies once again. There may be a few showers and storms out there later on. Otherwise warm, upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The show that understands the importance of a situational beverage. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Chris Fedor coming up in 12 minutes from now. Also have a little giveaway coming your way shortly. Between now and then, we continue with the Hey Guys. Go ahead, Reese.
We're having a less than hinged conversation about prisons in the YouTube chat, and I don't know if that's a advertisement or a disclaimer about if you want to pop into that thing, be advised.
I don't know. I mean, it's
you don't.
One of my biggest fears. I don't know where you guys are on this. One of my biggest fears as a kid was being incarcerated for something I didn't commit, and I don't know why. Like my mom and dad thought it was a good idea, but I know at least twice on summer vacations we went to the Montana State Penitentiary, like the old one that is retired, and did a tour. Like, what kid wants to go look at an old prison?
That's why you don't want to go to the Mansfield Reformatory.
No, I'm not going there. I mean, I guess I have to. I told Dami I would. I have no interest in it, though. But I was always terrified of that, man. And everything I've seen from prison movies ever since leads me to believe I was justified.
Is it Maury or one of the shows that's like it where they would have like the scared straight?
Yeah.
Then the kids that were misbehaving would have to go to a prison and the inmates would just yell at them.
Yeah. Jesus.
They would do that or like go to a military base and have
a drill instructor yell at them.
Yeah.
So back in the YouTube chat, Phil asks, hey guys, would you rather step in the ring against Rocky or try to snuff the rooster with a tactical team against Rambo in an abandoned city?
Ring against Rocky. I'm getting knocked out.
Yep.
The other one, I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, Rocky, I'm getting knocked out. Rambo, I mean, he can make things making Billy Goat puke. So, like, he took on the entire Oregon National Guard. Rocky's going to beat me up. He's going to knock me out. With Rambo, John J. Rambo, you're done. Lights out.
Rocky's just one man.
Yeah.
Right? Like all that other you got to go take your chances with, you know, as big as in shape as Rocky was and a trained boxer, he was still a little guy.
Yes.
Still a little guy, so you got to go with that.
Because with John Rambo, you're dying horribly. Like,
oh, dude, it's yeah, no way. And if God forbid, like he wants to keep you alive and like torture you. I mean, in the second one, they put leeches on him. They lower him into raw sewage, and he still doesn't break. No thanks. It's a different level.
So I take umbrage with your Stallone comment. He's 5'10". Mills asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, we talked about Sylvester Stallone and Arnold. What's your absolute top movie of all time?
So, I mean, from those guys, it'd be very difficult. Like if it was I think the two that I've watched that I like the most from those are probably Rocky IV, First Blood, and Cobra, honestly, from Stallone. And then from Arnie, it's easily, I've seen Commando 1,000 times. I've seen 1,000 times I've seen Commando. And then Predator is probably the best of all of them. In terms of just the movie that it is, I'd put it up with anything. So those would probably be the ones. But is he asking about those two guys specifically, or just favorite movie ever?
I think it's favorite movie ever is where Mills is going with that.
So this is the ultimate Baskin Robbins and why they make 31 flavors, because one, the answer to the question, however you interpret it, everybody has a different answer. Yeah. And you can interpret the question different ways too, because I interpreted it as favorite movie of all time, but Bo, you right away went to the favorite between those two. So
yeah, what's your favorite of Stallone and Arnie movies? You have to pick one.
So Stallone-wise, I think the favorite from both of them, it's always going to be one of the Rocky movies. And I have a hard time, I think Rocky IV is probably my favorite ever. My favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and maybe it's just because of when I saw it as a kid growing up, and I was around that time, my favorite Schwarzenegger movie ever is Kindergarten Cop. I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's great. A fun one. And I will always say my two favorite movies of all time, one is a comedy and one is a serious. My favorite is Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
And my favorite serious movie is The Fugitive.
Both those are
pretty good. Yeah, mine. My favorite movie of all time is Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's so good.
Because I think that movie has everything.
It does. Yeah, it does. I mean, my favorite seeing a movie in the theater experience was seeing Pulp Fiction in the theater, because that was, no one had any idea what was coming with that, and that was a freight train going downhill in a hurry.
Saw this from Kyle in the YouTube chat. He asks, hey guys, would you rather have Sylvester Stallone read your wedding vows or your eulogy?
Eulogy.
So Stallone was a character in Guardians of the Galaxy, and they did his character.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a bounty hunter.
Really?
And at the end of the movie, they eulogized another bounty hunter, and he did a great job with that. It's very emotional. So yes. 100% eulogy.
So I think the cooler one would be the eulogy. Like just having Sylvester Stallone say you were a badass, even if you were or weren't, just having him say that.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Would be pretty cool. But I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have no clue.
Oh.
So I'm going to go with have him do the marriage vows because I would at least be able to know that and hopefully enjoy that memory for quite some time.
Well, we all know you're never getting married, so you're never going to hear that either.
That's very possible.
You're such a playboy around town. Reputation's preceding you.
Just to have him say I do would be pretty good.
It would be pretty remarkable, though. Like, you think about, like, if there was no notice and you passed and all of a sudden Sylvester Stallone stands up at the back of the church and walks up and gives the eulogy.
Hey,
with
I
no
got
explanation. Wait, why is John J. Rambo here?
Like, all right,
what is going on?
Here's the microphone.
You knew Bo?
Sir.
Oh, yeah, they were close. You didn't see Bo in Tulsa King.
So that's another, like, his renaissance has really been his television acting over the last couple of years has been really, really good.
Yeah, he was also pretty smart to, like, he kind of started this trend of, like, what's old is new again, like with Creed. I haven't seen the Creed movies, but by all accounts, those are awesome. And that was like a really smart thing of him to do. I don't know if the new Rambos were any good or not, but it seems like
they were violent.
Were they? Well, that's in the brochure, isn't it?
I would say the newest ones were everything you would expect from a Rambo film. Guns, and people dying.
People dying. I got one on social from Tyler asks, hey guys, if the boys could be a professional athlete, what sport would each one choose? What would be your choice for them? NBC right now, I think, would pick golf. Beamsy would pick professional lacrosse, which is not particularly lucrative, and Bootsy would probably pick basketball. My answer to all of them would be golf. That would be, if I could pick, that'd be the one. Go be a professional golfer. I think that's the best lifestyle of anybody who's in it.
I mean, Patrick Harrington is in his 50s, and he's still cutting checks in Columbus, and then being back home in Ireland the next day.
Yeah, how about that?
Pretty great.
Little direct flight he had from up in Cleveland.
I think,
yeah, Aer Lingus.
I think golf is the correct answer for that, but I think the quickest path. I think the quickest path to being a professional athlete is a left-handed pitcher or a really good defensive catcher in baseball. Because those, even if they're not good, they still make it somehow.
The pitcher, you're just almost guaranteed to have to go under the knife.
Yeah, that's
it's almost a guarantee.
Tell that to Jamie Moyer.
You're doing TJ at one point.
Yeah.
I'll get one in real quick before we get to Fedor. This is from Ace. He says, hey, guys, people are selling trash from Taylor and Travis's wedding. In addition, someone's got air from the ceremony listed for $49,000. He asks, have any of you heard of something sell for more that's more insane? There was a Cheeto that looked like something one time that got a good amount of money on eBay.
What about that banana?
Was it a Banksy banana?
I think it was a Banksy banana. It was just a banana, like duct taped to a piece of white board. Wasn't that it? Do I have that right?
I think I think they duct taped a banana.
So I don't believe this at all. As buttoned up as this thing was, and they had they didn't allow phones there, and you can't release things from. I don't believe this. Like, I'm pretty sure they had that garbage locked up out of there, and so I don't believe this at all. Like, if you're buying this, you're getting duped. But the one thing that is always weird to me that is sold online that people pay for is feet pics.
Careful.
I've never understood that.
Oh, God.
I've never understood that.
I thought you were going bathwater, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. That happened, too.
I mean, undergarments, too, Reese, but...
Yeah, there's some of that, yeah. Well, that was the entire season of Euphoria, the only season I watched. That's all they did. We'll do Chris Fedor in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Financial literacy starts young. Ohio Credit Union offers Greenlight, the popular money app and debit card for kids at no cost with your personal checking account. Help them earn, save, and learn. Visit telhio.org/greenlight.
Telhio is open to anyone in Central and Southwest Ohio, federally insured by NCUA.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Get 0% financing for 60 months on new 2026 Tucsons and Santa Fe's. Plus, make no payment for 90 days. Columbus or Dublin or GLexHyundai.com. With True Credit, not all will qualify. End date free.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
When we talk Cleveland Cavaliers and NBA around here, we sure like to do it with our best buddy Chris Fedor up at Cleveland.com, covering the Cavs and the association at an expert level for these many years. Before we get to what we think is going to happen in all of it, I'm curious about you personally. If he does come back, and you covered him the last time, and he's been away all these times, and they've rebuilt all of this, where do you sit with, if it is a one-year retirement tour for LeBron, where's your head with that?
From what standpoint?
Just in terms of the coverage, is it exciting to you to be able to cover that type of thing again? And then we'll get into what you think it would mean for the team and all of that. But just you personally, how would it land for you?
I think it is really exciting. I think, for all of the things that come with LeBron being on a team that you write about, the attention, potentially drama, everything he says matters, everything he does matters, and there's like a pressure that comes with that. It's also the most rewarding aspect of my career to this point, were those 4 years that LeBron was here in Cleveland and the Cavs were going to the finals for 4 straight years. So to be part of history, something that is going to be historic, not just in the NBA, but across sports, potentially LeBron's last season, being able to write about that, being able to chronicle that journey, it's something that, I don't know that I'm worthy of necessarily, but it's something that I would really, really look forward to. Because this is why you get into the business. You want to chronicle the most significant events and significant moments in the sport that you cover or the team that you cover.
You're more than worthy, and that answer proves it, buddy, because that's exactly it, my friend. Like, we're fans of interesting. It's a whole lot more interesting if he's involved, right? That's why we all get into this. There's a curiosity to it. How will it land with your readers? What's their relationship with him?
I think they still have a strong relationship with him, Bo, just because of how everything ended the second time wasn't how everything ended the first time. The first time it was heartbreaking. He hadn't delivered a championship. He hadn't delivered on the promise that he made when he came in 2003. And there were emotions attached to it because of how it all went down that were still really raw the first time. But the fact that he came back to Cleveland, he undid the decision. He delivered the championship. They had the parade. I think people were more accepting of him leaving the second time around. And even though I do believe, Bo, that there is a segment of this fan base, just like I think there are people inside this organization that would love to do it without him, and feel a sense of accomplishment because they weren't solely reliant on him to reach the mountaintop. I think there's a level of understanding, Bo, from this fan base that LeBron is the kind of player that they need to take the next step as an organization. And if they didn't have LeBron, if he chose to go somewhere other than Cleveland, that this team, as it's currently constructed, isn't good enough. It's not good enough to beat the Knicks. It's not good enough to be on the same Oklahoma City Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs, or some of these other teams that have kind of separated themselves from the Cavs. So because of that understanding, I think fans would be more accepting of LeBron coming back, more welcoming of LeBron coming back, and more excited about the possibility of what it could lead to again.
So let's go there now. Let's talk fit. And I understand we're having this conversation. This is a fait accompli that he's going there. We'll get to if that seems that what your percentage on that is. To me, it feels like it's a done deal. But let's just go with the fit for a second, because there was a moment when the Lakers were healthy with Reeves and Doncic and LeBron where he acquiesced to Luka, and they were pretty dang dominant for a stretch of games. And then all the injuries happened and it was done. The injury to Luka, Reeves, all of it, and it all went away. How will he fit into this Cavaliers team, or will this Cavaliers team fit around a 41-year-old legend?
See, this is interesting, Bo, because I think there are two sides to this. I think the one side is LeBron is a basketball savant. LeBron is the most versatile player the game has seen in the last 20 years. He can play every single position, and he can do it effectively. So there's that side of it, where you just say, all right, plop him on Mars, and he's going to find a way with 4 other dudes to compete for a championship, right? Plop him in Cleveland, and he's going to figure it out. Plop him in Philadelphia, he's going to figure it out. Because he's that good, he's that versatile, he's that smart, he's that talented. He makes that kind of difference everywhere he has gone. But there's the other side of this, where LeBron is still playing at an all-NBA level. LeBron is still playing like an all-star. And yes, he did take a step back for Luka, and he did shift into the third option offensively. But it felt like he did that reluctantly. And it felt like it wasn't something that he loved doing. And he has a comment that's floating around the internet right now from one of his podcasts, one of his many podcasts that he was on, where he said that, you know, he still sees himself a different kind of way. So I don't know, when you talk about the Cleveland fit, Donovan Mitchell is ball dominant and James Harden is ball dominant, and they need their touches and they need their shots, and they've grown used to that. And I think it's one thing for LeBron to do it reluctantly, but to choose to do that and step into that role at this stage of his career, I don't know that it's the perfect stylistic fit. I think there are some other ones out there that are a little bit more seamless. Now, is that going to drive this decision? Is that going to take away his desire for coming to Cleveland because the basketball-related fit isn't perfect? No, I'm not saying that. But I do think if this was purely about basketball, there are other ones out there that just make more sense for LeBron than Cleveland does.
You covered him for 4 years. You knew him pretty well. What do you think drives this one? Because every point you just made on the basketball front is, as you were talking about Harden and Mitchell and him all on the court together, I just thought, well, that's a mess. That just doesn't seem to work at all. But at the same time, I don't know if that's what drives him, or if is he looking for a narrative? Chris, I just have a hard time believing you're going to play Firestone and Portage every day for 2 weeks, go to Golf Galaxy, and you're not coming back. I just don't believe he would do all of that. Where do you know him well? What do you make of all this?
It would be hard for him to do that, Bo, because of the pain that he would then inflict on this fan base by doing that. And he's aware of that. He has to know that.
Yes.
And people around him, and he does. He's smart enough to know that. So I'm kind of with you as well, but I try and rationalize that with the basketball-related stuff, because the hard thing about this whole decision, this free agency decision for LeBron, it's not like the other ones, Bo. At the time that he was going through all of that stuff, whether it was 2010, 2014, 2018, there were things that he wanted to accomplish in his career. There were things that he needed to do for his career. He needed to come back to Cleveland and erase the smudge on his resume that was the decision in 2010, right? He needed to go to Miami because he needed to learn how to be a champion. He needed the validation. He needed championships. And in his own mind, he needed to go to LA because, like, the history, the franchise, the purple and gold, being a part of that kind of franchise was always appealing to LeBron, who grew up rooting for the Cowboys and the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, like, there were things in each decision where you're like, okay, it makes sense. I know exactly why he's doing it. It's part of his legacy. It's part of what he thinks he needs out of his career. This is different. They termed it as supreme happiness because that's such a vague term that nobody can pinpoint that. Nobody can define that but LeBron. Only LeBron can define what happiness means for him at this stage of his career and this stage of his life. And I think they're purposely vague because otherwise, you'd be able to connect dots on your own. You'd be able to determine what are the best things for LeBron at this stage of his career and what places seem to give him those things. But happiness is a very vague term with a lot of different definitions that only LeBron can define. So that's the hard thing about this, Bo, is I just don't know what is going to drive that decision. I do think deep down LeBron still wants to compete at the highest level. I do think it would matter to him to compete for another championship and potentially win another championship. So I do think there are basketball-related things that he's looking for still, even at soon-to-be 42 years old. But I also think that there are life things that he's looking for, too. So when you combine the two, I still believe deep down that the place that defines happiness for LeBron most at this stage of his career and his life is Cleveland. I think there are enough basketball-related decisions for him to come here because if he came here, they would be one of the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. And then if you talk about happiness and all of the other things that could come with it off the floor, there's only one other place other than Los Angeles that he could look at and say is home, and that's Cleveland. That's not Miami. That's not Philadelphia. It's not Dallas. It's not any of those other places. And then you talk about the potential storybook ending that he could get in Cleveland, the narrative that he can write. It feels too much like Cleveland for me to look at some of these other places and consider anybody else a front runner.
He's going to be bathed in love for an entire year if he goes to Cleveland.
That's exactly right. There's
no other place.
There's one place that will give him the kind of send-off that he has earned, that he deserves. There's one place that will love him unconditionally. There's one place that will accept him for all of his flaws and his faults. There's one place that will give him the send-off that, somebody that has accomplished everything that he has accomplished, he would want. And it's Cleveland. It's nowhere else. So it would be hard for me to see him turning down, 41 home games of this fan base that has witnessed him grow from basketball prodigy to NBA legend. It would be hard for me to say, LeBron wants to turn down those opportunities.
I couldn't agree more, buddy, as is typically the case when we have conversations. Appreciate your time, buddy. Thanks for giving us a little bit of it today.
You got it, man. Anytime.
All right, there he goes. Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com, one of the best in the business, joining us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We got to pick a winner here. The Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals. Winner receives a family 4-pack of tickets to the Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals, July 10th through the 12th at the Ohio Expo Center. Let's go caller 6. LeBron wore 6 in Miami. We'll go caller 6, 614-821-9710. Get those passes. Good for one day, Friday through Sunday. Check out over 6 out of the country's coolest hot rods, muscle cars, trick trucks, customs, and more. Get details, vehicle registration, and ticket info at goodguys.com. Get your officially endorsed at 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Hey, this is D. Miller. Declare your independence from low testosterone at Low T Center. Start with the free T-test. Stay on the treatment for 90 days and receive $250 back. It's the Low T Center 250 for 250 offer. Book your free T-test at fixedbylowt.com.
The big one returns to Ohio. It's the Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals presented by Grundy Insurance. See over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and classic trucks on display. And don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action, a tire-smoking burnout competition, a pro street takeover, an earth-shaking nitro thunderfest. Meet the top builders and so much more. Happening all this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit cecturfandtractor.com today.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey Central Ohio, Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and we buy houses for cash. If you've got a house you need to sell, this is your season. Inherited, behind on payments, just over it? Whatever brought you here, we can help. We buy as is, we cover all closing costs, and there are zero commissions, period. Just a fair cash offer and you choose your closing date. People are making moves right now, and we make it simple to be one of them. One call is all it takes. We'll get you a fair cash offer, fast, no pressure, no obligation. Hundreds of your neighbors have already sold the easy way, and we've got 5-star reviews and BBB A+ rating to back it up. Leave the stress and mess to us. We're based right here in Columbus, and we're ready when you are. Call us at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, family-owned. Call 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355.
Rothman and Ice.
Ben Stiller just landed, and this is what I told him last night.
Wait, whoa. And I told him last night.
Yeah.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. After putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what in the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, what's the greatest comeback of all time? Your options are Argentina versus Egypt yesterday from the World Cup's round of 16. Patriots 28-3 in the Super Bowl. Cavs 3-1 finals comeback, or other. 66% say in 2016, people forget the Golden State Warriors blew a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. 25% say the Patriots 28-3, and then just 5% say Argentina and Egypt from yesterday.
In the moment of all of those, and I was watching all of those things happen live, like probably a lot of you were, the down 3-1 was impossible. That was a 73-win Warriors
Felt
team.
like it.
That was impossible. And I know that Draymond was suspended, but it was like, come on. They're not winning 3 in a row. 28-3 was impossible. There weren't enough possessions. I remember everybody else in the house went to bed, and I end up watching that. And I'm thinking there's not enough possessions to come back from this. The messy one yesterday, they just needed to get one. And they were down 2-0. They had 10 minutes. It was in the 80th minute. So they had 10 minutes. And then, of course, there's 17 minutes of stoppage time on all of this because of the commercial breaks and all of that. So that one, as I was watching yesterday, felt very plausible that they could do that. And then they ended up scoring 3 and winning it, which was crazy. But that one is the least impossible for me by far.
So when I first saw this, I immediately thought the Super Bowl with the 28-3. I also got to thinking about the 3-1 lead that the Yankees blew in the ALCS in 2004, which eventually led to the Red Sox first world championship in 86 years. And I think when you throw that in there, that's got to be in the list and pretty high. Maybe number 1.
Yeah, that's a good one too. All right, it's the First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
I rarely do this, but headed to Maryland this weekend for travel lacrosse. And I remember last year having one of these and thinking, boy, that was refreshing. Now, it could have just been Maryland being 95 degrees and 95% humidity. Could have been that, but it was a delight. So I think I'm going to run it back this weekend. If you want to make one your own, this is how you do it. It's called an orange crush. So you need a highball glass. You need crushed ice. Then you need probably 2 ounces of High Bank vodka would be perfect. You need 3 ounces of freshly squeezed orange juice, 1 ounce of triple sec, and then you need to get what I would do with this, because you're not going to need any more sugar because of the OJ. Liquid Death makes a severed lime sparkling water that has no sugar, which is a delight. So you just top it off with that. It's called an Orange Crush. It is one of the official cocktails of the state of Maryland, where I will be spending this weekend, and it is good enough for your officially endorsed. By the way, you can do it without the alcohol. It would probably be pretty good, too, for the children. They would enjoy it. All right, time for 3 things on a First Friday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me, the Blonde and I took NBC to the Jack Johnson. You guys familiar with Jack Johnson, the musician? He was playing up at Blossom in Northeast Ohio last night, so we took NBC to the concert last night. I was unclear how many of his songs he would know, and he knew a few of them. Jack Johnson was a seminal part of like my college years, along with Dave Matthews Band, was omnipresent in the background of various things. But what blew my mind was, I said, and Blossom's a pretty big venue. I said, I've seen Dave Matthews Band here, and they packed this out. And we got to the seats and looked up, and God, Jack Johnson packed it out. So then I said to NBC, I'm like, I don't think he's in the same vicinity of Dave Matthews. And so sure enough, Dave sold more records, and Dave has more touring money. But Pate he said to me, he goes, Dad, what about Spotify streams? And Jack Johnson annihilates Dave Matthews on Spotify streams, like almost 2-1 on Spotify streams. I was shocked at how big he's gotten over the last 25 years, because I'm just not on the pulse of that stuff anymore. Put on a hell of a show, by the way.
Take that, DMB.
Yeah, both are my guys. But
Rick Broering covers Xavier basketball for 24/7 Sports. He reported this yesterday. I'm hearing a big announcement involving Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio State, and Xavier is on the way. The schools are expected to unveil a unique college basketball exhibition event, which is awesome.
Yep.
Outside of the exhibition thing, let's make it count for realsies. This is a step in the right direction, so I can appreciate them doing this before the 2026 season, if that in fact is what's going to happen with those Big Four Ohio basketball schools. And then in future seasons, you make it something that actually counts towards records, towards resumes. And it's just a fun thing that finally we're getting on top of.
You think the games are going to count?
Season.
Well, if it's an exhibition, I guess I don't.
Oh, come on. Don't do that.
I agree.
First thing for me, The Athletic put out a top 8 NHL fan bases that should feel disrespected right now, and they have the Columbus Blue Jackets as number 4. Now, I don't know if they should feel more disrespected than some of the guys on, or some of the teams on the list ahead, but he has the Jackets at a 6.5 out of 10 on the insult meter. Well, you got a bogus PR spin at the end of this Zach Werenski thing. You were told Kirill Marchenko is just a ploy to get more zeros on his number, but I've heard nothing about talks of a contract extension. Adam Fantilli is still not re-signed, and for the second year in a row, I've told that this team was going to be made better, but yet you're pretty much just running it back. As a Blue Jackets fan, I'm way more than 6.5 out of 10 on the insulted.
I think you're probably speak for a great many. On that note, only one. I don't know if we've ever done this before. We're up against everything. But I want AR to have plenty of time to discuss Sylvester Stallone as well.
Well, AR's not
he's
in
out
today, I believe. I believe it's JP. So.
Correct, with Matty Ice.
All right. Well, then they're not going to be able to do Stallone, so we'll save that for AR when he gets back. Nevertheless, we got to get their show on time, and we got to get to a meeting with Fish. Enjoy your first Friday. Act accordingly, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch